bad look for CRWV. That's all I have to say on that.
All right, thanks, Federa. And I just want to add to the point that you guys both made. The cost of debt dropped in Q2, so that eased a little bit of the financial pressure that the company had, and management highlighted favorable debt pricing reflects the long-term confidence they have in their business model. So wait to see what they do. But it's been a hell of a show today. Yeah, nice comeback there and nice trade. My guy on IBIT.
Yeah, it was a tough one, man. For sure.
Just to leave you guys with one quick thought here with respect to the small cappers, it is the LUMN show right now. It's not really a small capper, but this one is breaking out and is insanely respectful of the 10 EMA on the 5. I'll see everybody quickly, or shortly, excuse me, at the big desk. Joe and I back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Big boys are that way.
Here we are. We're literally that way. It's the kids go, Pizza Hut is that way, that way, that way. It's a
Pizza
baseball thing. Yeah, when you foul the ball off, they say. Nice cut, go to Pizza Hut, stuff like that.
Nice cut. Touch the green.
Anyways, yeah. Here we go.
I love that. We had a dude, oh man, I'll never forget, there was a dude I played ball with. He used to challenge everybody, and he would go down the line. He's like, you could just say any baseball normal, touch some green, good swing, whatever it is, and he would have one to respond with. And the next person would go, and he'd have one to respond with. You go through the whole team. He would not stop with it because he was hardcore. But at the end of the day, it's football season, not baseball season, and it's earnings season.
Yeah.
That's the one that matters. NVIDIA reports in 2 hours and 15 minutes if all goes well. And if it doesn't, then we'll wait around for them to report. Whenever it happens, we'll have it live. It's the biggest earnings name that's going to matter, but it's not going to move as much as Snowflake, in my opinion. I think Snowflake is
not even close.
I think Snowflake feels like double digits. CrowdStrike is probably going to be a bit of a mover as well.
The implied move is 11 for Snowflake.
Yeah, I mean, with Snowflake,
some stock called Bill.
It didn't move much last time, Snowflake, actually.
Yeah, 5 below, 12%. Here it is right here. Come on, hey, what's up? Google right now moving around as well. Here it is right here. So if we go over to profile and you get this right here, here's all the earnings and the implied moves right here at Trader TV Sean. I can put this in the chat right now if you guys are interested. They're in there. You can go find them anywhere online, but here it is right here. Here's NVIDIA. Implied move 6.5%. HPQ tonight 6.8%. Snowflake 11.5, as Neil was mentioning there. Bill there again, nice move there, higher. What Bill? Oh, Bill Holdings. Why do I know that name? Okay. NTAP 7% and 5 below 12.5. Go find it over there at Trader TV Sean. All the rundowns right there. Oh, look at this. Here's a fake person. You see Trader TV Sean, all this kind of stuff. Oopsies. So I just go like this, and I go hide reply, and then it says block this dude. Yo, what's up, Kristen? See ya. Right there. But yeah, anyways, that's don't ever follow anything. I'm not involved with crypto or anything like that. There's always a lot of traders that message me and saying, oh, I saw you on Discord and this and that. That ain't this guy right there. So please do not get scammed, as I know it happens to the best of us. All right, so right here, just working still on the same trades, man. Tesla's right here. Nvidia is the one I kind of want to hold. It's still $3. We've been tapping out here around 182. Our best outs are here, 182.30s. So it's a good little level there for Nvidia. We again, like, just being lucky, I guess, man. We get the very bottom of Nvidia today. I mean, the low of the day on Nvidia is right here. And I mean, we waited very, very patiently. We let it sort of wick out a little bit there at the bottom, and then eventually went, okay, we on one, let's go. And that was it. So shout out to Darwin and everybody else in the chat. Good to talk with you there during the midday show. Yeah, we're in chill mode already here. We'll be talking about some different names that are going to be reporting here this afternoon, as we just did. We'll look at a Snowflake for you guys. I know that there's going to be...
There's one thing I finally figured out an answer to, because we had a lot of questions about why Robinhood was so weak. It could just be, again, because they got passed over for the S&P, right? Like IBKR, Interactive Brokers, is going in for Walgreens. And as usual, everyone seems to think it's going to be Robinhood next. And one more time, they get passed over. So they have to wait for, I don't know, there's another day. DAY will be, at some point, either late this year, maybe early next year, Day will be coming out of the S&P 500 when that deal closes, and maybe Robinhood gets it then. But IBKR going into the S&P 500, Interactive Brokers going into the S&P 500, and coming out is Walgreens, because that is going private tonight.
I mean, also remember, guys, like IBKR's PE is half of Robinhood's, right?
yeah,
And
it's
so I
much more
think you gotta,
reasonably priced.
yeah, you gotta take that into consideration there when you're talking about what stocks are going in and going out. It's much more reasonably priced. That didn't stop Palantir, of course, from getting involved. But yeah, so right now we're still watching NVIDIA. I think this is the screamer into the afternoon, so we're going to be happy trading that one. We do have the rundown ready to go for you guys, obviously. We'll talk about all the stocks you guys wanted us to in the middle of the day, and we'll get going on that one. Other than that, yeah, Netflix coming back to life just a little bit. Still down here today as I looked at my chart. I was trying to find some levels maybe that might matter, 1,200 or so for Netflix. We didn't get there yet, 1214, 1215, down 0.26 there as K-pop Demon Hunters, I guess, goes in the theaters and then leaves the theaters. And we'll wait to see what happens with the next release of their hit franchise, I guess. 1260 right there for that top of Netflix. Nice little move down. The name that I want to buy next, though, is Costco. I want to get some more into Costco. Just waiting to see, man. We've been raising a little bit of cash, but not much. I hate sitting on cash, but like right now, it's probably like 8 to 9% probably of my portfolio is cash. So if there is a move down, great. We'll take advantage of that. Okay, here goes Tesla right now as well. Tesla right now up to the 200 period. Let's take something out on VWAP. So we're getting pretty close to that. 351. Let's go 351.80s. We'll go 80 exactly, see if we get a move up there on Tesla. So, hey, man, these are the two biggest stocks on the desk today. I think Joe had a good one with IBIT, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, overall, decent day here. And, yeah, let's, I think we're ready. Are we ready there, Sharif?
I think so.
All right, let's go over to the desk and find out what's going on with the big guy.
Bless you.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, everyone. The show where you decide what we talk about every day. The big boys are locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at those tickers right there as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up on the afternoon rundown is to get into the chat right from early on when we go live at 8:30 and vote for your favorite tickers every day. It's super easy to vote. Throw in that $sign followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires. Let's look at all four major averages on the day, and they are all green, guys. Starting on the top left of your screen, the triple Q's up 0.5%. Bottom left of your screen, the IWM Russell 2000 ETF up 0.5%, the best performing major average on the day, followed by the Dow. Bottom right of your screen, there up 0.33%, and the SPY, the S&P ETF, up 0.25% on the day. Good look for all four major averages. The first name, though, as decided by you guys, PLTR. They had an interesting headline yesterday coming out midday that the Trump administration was interested in taking stakes in some of these defense companies. We talked about it on the news during the midday show, guys, but Palantir down today 1 2/3.
Yeah, they sold. Well, I mean, I'm a little skeptical that that would be one of the companies that they would take a stake in. We talked about Lockheed a little bit earlier, that making more sense. And then Boeing, another one. Boeing sold as well as Palantir. But the good news for Palantir really only looked two places, 60 and then a trend break, but it could not break the volume weighted average price. I think it has a chance to now here on Palantir. Because if you look at this stock, since making those highs, it's pulled right into the trend. This is why I leave this one up. It's a 50 period on the daily, but it's also the trend line from the May bottom. And it's held very, very cleanly, including this last recent dip. So it just ticked off it here at it's about 156 where that trend line is, and is now breaking back out. So you have a bit of a rounded bottom on the 15-minute, and then we're right back breaking out into that 158 where the working long was into 160. So, you know, I like it as long as we can hold on to this little prior high here, like 157.85 on Palantir. I think it's rounded off the bottom. On the higher time frame, you could do a heck of a lot worse than holding the 50-period moving average right now on a dip. And as long as that's true, then looks like that's a safe place to be buying Palantir. That 50 SMA on the daily keeps on working out. We talk about valuations be darned or whatnot. It had a bit of a correction off the top, or at least a pullback from highs, possibly on some of that valuation concern. But I think that what we do know is the U.S. government hinting that this could be one of those companies that they would invest in, tells you how important they are to the U.S. government. So, like, there's nothing bad about the news, whether you think it happens or not. I think you can look at it as somewhat positive and buy it off the 50.
All right, yeah, I mean, we've been talking about buying the Palantir off the 50, so you're going to get that opportunity probably tomorrow when it hits that level. So get ready for Palantir to come back in. I mean, doesn't have the catalysts right now to do anything. So I'm just going to wait. We've already gotten some out here at 160 on our own personal account. I mean, takeaway is 0, and that's like our average cost. So it's been pretty good so far there for PLTR. Again, the only stock that I have in the red today is Palantir, and happy about that, to be honest with you. We tried the 160 level, it did not work. So it's funny because the only trade that I had written down here for Palantir today was to take the 165 long break right there, and it just didn't even come close to that. So again, we wrote that down in the pre-market thinking that we were to get going on that. The best thing that could happen to this company, of course, would be that the government would take a stake, because in order for them to get all those shares, they'd have to go to market to get those, and that would send the stock, I think, through the moon again. So yeah, look, I really love this stock, and Palantir continues to be a good holding there for the Katina household. So we'll just wait on Palantir now. I don't think we'll be buying any dips in this name. It's gonna have to get a lot lower for me to get more interested in PLTR. Stay away from this name, man. It's down 1.6%. The market is up, and the market is booming today. And here it goes right now. See, like, this is what I mean. Look, like, we're buying Nvidia and it's going up. We're buying Tesla and it's going up right now. So Palantir, I mean, you got to get above view off for me to be interested today. Love the stock, but don't love these levels. I think it's a short underneath 160.
Earnings, company reporting earnings after the bell today. You might have heard of it. NVDA reporting earnings after the bell. They're up 0.25% today. And here's what the street is expecting from their report. They're looking for $45.89 billion in second quarter revenue. That would be up markedly from the 30.04 they printed last year, guys. We'll have to see how they do on EPS, how what they speak about in terms of buying from hyperscalers in China, guys. So much to listen to. Make sure to catch that with Neil and Adara on the Market Recap Show, guys.
We're not getting. Are you joining them, Sharif, or not?
No, there's no green screen, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But before he joined you up there, and Adara would sit at her desk.
Yeah, but her desk is now all the way.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's great having Sharif there, but obviously earnings are what they are, and it should be a great show. So join Neil and Adara. I almost said Sharif again. Join Neil and Adara tonight as we'll go over the earnings report. Look, implied move 6%, right? I'm going to say under on that move. I think it'll be much under 6% right there. But anyways, it's a nice move higher. The thing about Nvidia is obviously we're worried about their year over year. It's not going to be anywhere near what it was last year, their growth, but I think that's to be as expected, right? They've been going through huge turnaround over at Nvidia after that. What we're looking for is those China chip numbers, that 15% sort of tariff that they're going to pay over to the, wow, this name just keeps going, man. I don't, we're at 182.48. I put that order there 3 hours ago, right at the high there. So let's see if there it is. We're going to get it right now. And there it goes. Oh, it's a short sell. Yeah, that's right, because I have an offer even higher than that right now as well. So here we go, man. You're now $3.50 in the money. I think this name continues to work out throughout the rest of the day. It's a strong, huge name today. It's a big one for the desk, man. It's good. It's made my day. We really like it. Being patient there. Look at this huge level at 50. Bye-bye. You can say see you later to that one. So I think NVIDIA, the risk, I've already said this, is to the downside. It's strange when you go out near all-time highs, but look, the thing is that you are, get out of there. This looks pretty healthy to me. I mean, it looks like it's been working, right? So right into there, 185. I could see that get taken out. I mean, if you do get that 6% move, then you're over in and around that $200 mark, and then it's party on tomorrow, man, for this name. So if I was getting calls in this or looking to trade NVIDIA, it would be a month or two out. I think you got to give it some time. Here I could see the report being great, but is it going to be great enough to scare the bears? That's the only question that I have. And I'm going to say no. So I think the bears come tomorrow for this name. It's just a matter of, will the stock have anything to say about it? I think people buy the dips. I love this stock. That's exactly what we did today, man. We waited for this to happen and we bought it. And boom goes the dynamite here. Big stock for me today, NVIDIA.
I think you're looking for the margin. I think the concern is these guys could literally have a margin of like 70, like the low 70%, and the stock's going to be down on that, or it'll be flat because the margins are in the low 70s. And like that's how ridiculous Nvidia is at. Like they're expecting to see mid to high 70% on gross margin, and that could be the number that at this point that's what everyone's going to be worried about. So I still believe if it gets into 184 or close to the 184 seller that's been in here in the open market, then that's going to be a sell area. So if we get up there, I think you look for a bit of a fade going into the earnings, but that's a long ways away. Keep an eye on that margin number for sure. And then remember, of all the sympathy that's going to be out there, sympathy in AMD, which we'll get to next, sympathy in Broadcom as well. Those are all going to be movers. Don't forget about CoreWeave, which didn't make the board here today. CoreWeave actually having a pretty good day, and that could turn around rather quickly on any disappointment here from Nvidia, which is, hey, they're the leader. They're almost a quarter of the SMH. They're 10% of the Nasdaq, just under that in the S&P 500. So that's why we call it the biggest earnings name, because it just matters the most.
Another name, Neil, that could move as a result of Nvidia's earnings is the one next, AMD. They've gotten a real catalyst today. They're up, I believe, 0.18%, so kind of a flat day. There was this headline yesterday from True Securities upgrading AMD to a buy and boosting that price target, boys, from 173 to 213. But you feel like the real headline today for AMD will be the commentary or the numbers by NVIDIA with respect to demand for AI chips.
I agree. Like demand, the rising tide lifts all ships. It cuts in both directions. There was the story yesterday with this IBM hookup, but unfortunately, I wasn't here yesterday, but you didn't get to 169 again today, where I think that's another obvious sell area ever since it made the bottom. It just hasn't been able to break away from the 169, and on good news, it failed to, on AMD. On good news, it failed to do so as well. So I was favoring the short underneath it. Eventually, took shots at the long, but it looks to me like this could be breaking trend now. On a 15-minute chart, I mean, not yet. It's not breaking the trend until it breaks down underneath this local high here, but that seems like a fade play if we break and stop making higher lows on AMD. If they sold it on good news yesterday at underneath 169, and there's probably at least some profit takers that are ready and locked and loaded, I could see this one pulling back a little bit here. Only 0.5% to the upside with AMD. And remember, AMD trades more expensive, easily more expensive than Nvidia. Easily more expensive. So if Nvidia gets dinged for an imperfect report, what happens to AMD? How can it go up? I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, well, we're just waiting to see the China demand, and if the China demand is there, then I think AMD will win at some point. And actually, I think AMD has a good chance to get to that 185 tomorrow. I mean, you just have to wait to see if what that number looks like tonight, right? I mean, I think it's high tide raises all ships, and yeah, AMD is going to get there. AMD's at a great buy level as well of 158, like 160. If you can get some dip buy opportunities into there, looking pretty healthy. You're already pulled back almost 20% right here in AMD, right? I mean, you're down from 187 to, I mean, at the lows 162. That's $17 off of 180. So about 10% down there from AMD. And yeah, like the name, I wasn't on it today. I mean, I did have Mark here on AMD today that we wanted to talk about 168.50 long, and that didn't come in. So we actually left them alone here today. But again, I still like the stock there on Advanced Micro Devices. All right, guys, VinFast, you can see it right there on your screen. Please scan that QR code. They delivered almost 36,000 EVs in Q2 of 2025, marking a 170% plus jump from last year. This brings their first half total to more than 70,000 EVs, up over 220% year over year, with stronger sales usually in the second half. They're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units. They're also crushing it, of course, on two-wheelers. Can you believe that? With nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 400% from a year ago. And with gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential looks huge. You can find them on the Nasdaq under VFS. I've actually seen yesterday I saw 3 VinFasts on the road. No lie, right there. So they are getting
out there, man.
They're getting juicy out there. These VinFasts. So shout out to VinFast and all of
I see a lot of Polestar.
our sponsors as well. I see some Polestars. Yeah, I mean, Tesla is by far, it's like
obviously
100 to 1. But for right now, yeah, VinFast. Saw a couple yesterdays, and they look pretty nice.
Yeah,
so
they look.
shout out to VinFast, a proper SUV.
Unlike I was about to compare it to the Neo. You know, like the new Neo one, it's like, it basically is the exact same as a Volvo.
Yeah, the only thing is you can't get it.
It's identical. Well, you can't, I mean, whatever.
Right,
You also
so
can't get it, but
VinFast, you can go to the store.
VinFast actually looks cool.
VinFast is here. They're boarded, right? So we don't have Neo in North America.
They are open for business.
Yes, they are, and open for business apparently. If Drake buys some shares or not, open door right there.
I'm guessing not.
Yeah, I'll get to that one in a second, but I want to let you know, obviously, this is not part of the ad read, but VinFast does have very special lease rates on right now for the VF8 and the VF9, if anybody's interested. I'm sure north and south of the border, double check, guys. Let's go on to Open Door. They're down 8.83% today. Obviously, a very interest rate sensitive stock as they're looking for mortgage demands to rebound. That did not happen today. They remain stuck, according to this article. Home applications to refinance a home loan fell 4% for the week. So we continue to watch, as the market for real estate recovers slowly. Open Door down 8% and change.
Yeah, so just very quickly, I want to make sure we get to the super chat from Mr. Tendies. Thank you so much. Mr. Tendies, seeing potential head and shoulders on the daily for the Qs, assuming it plays out if earnings are bad for Nvidia. Well, Nvidia is 10% of the market. So if it's bad for an Nvidia, then you do have a setup. 100%. Like, there's shoulder, and you have to see what happens. If Nvidia blows it out and is trading double digits tomorrow, then obviously that's going to bring the market higher. I can't see any way that you're not breaking back out. It's only bearish if it fails the shoulder, right? So you have to see it happen, and what better catalyst than Nvidia to determine one way or another. So you got yourself a level there for sure. If you're into the head and shoulders pattern, Open Door. Well, they closed the door today, unfortunately. Couldn't hold 5, not even for any amount of time. Down another 9% here today on Open. When you're a squeeze name, when you're a momentum name, it's okay and healthy to have pullbacks. It's in the midst of one. It didn't hold on to yesterday's low, so at this point, you're just kind of trying to figure out where it's going to bounce. 4 is an obvious prior high, and then maybe down into the 3/4 area. Does seem like it wants to test on Open. There's a multiple failures at the $5 level with prior high, and then every single time we've gotten to $5, you've been unable to do anything with it. So another failure under $5 here today. At minimum, you got to think it's pulling back into $4. I think that's the first obvious place to look for a bit of a bounce here in Open Door. That's the rub. You get these squeeze momentum, retail type names, and there's always like semi-rug pulls, pullbacks. It's just par for the course here. And maybe the next thing would be it's not even crazy to say, like, if Eric Jackson gets Drake to buy some shares, and maybe that's the next rally that Open Door does, and it goes another couple of bucks before it pulls back again. That's the nature of the game here.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is just to play the pullbacks. I mean, I agree with all of that. I mean, it's just a matter of, we've already had that huge move up here. This is a 5-minute chart, so it doesn't have the greatest amount of memory. It only goes back a couple of days. But I think it looks like down here, $3. Like, I hate to say that because it's at 4, but, down another 25, 30% from here, I think is a safe spot that we've already revisited a couple times and worked off of it. So that to me is all that you can really do. I mean, you were chilling out underneath $1 for a while. So I would just say, do the due diligence, right? Find other stocks that are below $1 that have a short interest and a idea that you think could work. I mean, it's what I did with Big Bear AI. And we saw what happened with that one, gave us about 200% return on Big Bear AI. So Open Door, something very, very similar right there. You can grab this name on pullbacks, I think, and then you wait to see what happens in and around $3. So that would be my sort of wait and see on Open Door. Another name that was, well traded for a long time in the retail space, Robinhood up next, Sharif.
Yeah, Katina, man, and they're down 3.25% today. No specific headline, but one has to assume that they're down as a result of not being selected to be in the S&P 500. IBKR Interactive Brokers being selected instead, guys. So off the lows, they're at 104, but still down 3.25.
Well, the last time they got quote-unquote snubbed for the S&P 500, they did just fine. Came right back, made fresh highs, obviously, again, and you know, it's probably a matter of time for them, but as we were mentioning off the top of the show, it's still an expensive stock, and you know, Interactive Brokers has a long track record, I suppose, and probably some things that are more appealing, at least according to the S&P and their decision making there. So it is what it is. At some point they'll get it, and it's just not going to be now. That said, the 50 period. That's a good hold, $100 even. It hasn't even sniffed it. It's been riding a trend, which I don't necessarily have to draw, but above the 50 period, where I think it bounced today. I had the good fortune of a couple of longs, but the second one I went to go for my walk, I'm like, yeah, we'll put our stop at prior bar, and then we'll go for a walk. There's the prior bar, and then it went for a walk to the upside on Robinhood. It's just a matter of waiting for it to break that trend line. The other thing to keep in mind on the other side of that trade, Interactive Brokers is a literally gigantic buy imbalance today, or a huge buy imbalance. I think a couple, 20 million shares or something along those lines to buy. So you might see that pop up on the imbalance locator. That's because they're going to get what Robinhood wants. I don't think it would be as exciting of a trade as if it had been Robinhood going into the index, but we will have a look at IBKR at some point if we do see it huge on that locator tonight.
Oh, is tonight a day for it?
Yeah, because Walgreens is done today, and
okay.
IBKR is, it's effective the 28th, which usually means you got to watch out for the 27th for the close trade.
Right, so we'll watch out here. So for WBA, it's going to come as a sell. So you're going to probably think about getting short here, and then when it comes out, you put your market on close order, and then you see what winds up happening there for Walgreens Boots Alliance.
Yeah, there's
right?
a tricky, it's got like a big CVR though.
Yeah, so we'll see what it comes out. So expect a big, huge, well, wait a second, it's on the Nasdaq, so we won't be able to see it. This is the imbalance locator that we're talking about. So it will come as quite a big sell there, but it will come at 350, and then I might even be involved in the trade. So I'll tell you how that all goes down as well. So IBKR is just such a great stock. I mean, I think you got to own it now. Not even getting a pop as it was being added, right? I mean, they made their move back down right there. So this tells me right now that this whole move on Robinhood has absolutely nothing to do at all with them missing on that. So I don't, SoFi's down, IBKR is down. You know, I have to look at Charles Schwab and things like that. They've had their moment, right? So buy the news, sell the rumor, buy the news, whatever you want to do. It looks like it's trying to break a little bit lower. So down 2%, I'd say you want to grab that. The other name, Charles Schwab, as we talked about it, I just did right there a little bit. Let's see what this is doing. I consider this one best of breed right there. And yeah, you could see it's actually taking the other way and starting to go back to the upside, looking to break through. That $100 mark is Charles Schwab. So yeah, man, so far so good. I will be able to see what's going on there. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for the rundown, and thanks for everything, of course. We do have this, and I'm going to refresh this right now. Make sure you do get into the chat and type whatever you want us to talk about. So right here you can see that we do have, pardon? That we do. Oh, we are in 4K now. We are in 4K now. You can see the gray hair is a little bit better. Shout out to everybody and technology right there. I'm going to refresh this. You guys get into the chat. Thank you, Andre, for reminding us right there. Sean, is BBI over? Over what? Right there. So type in the chat right here. So you just want to type in, like if you're looking at BBAI, you type in $BBAI, and it will start to produce. So there it is right there, BBAI, and there it is, Big Bear AI. Yeah, no, I think Big Bear AI has a big move to come still. And we've already traded that. I think you got to wait for it to get down a little bit. We'll talk about Big Bear AI as these all populate. So we'll check back in this in a couple minutes.
22 seconds? Yes. Very specific.
Ouch, that sucks.
You have to wait 22 seconds before you're going to see reaction.
No, that sucks.
Because it used to be 10.
Yeah, there's a 22-second delay. I almost think we should go off of 4K because of that reason, but thank you for bringing that up to us right there. So now there is a 22-second delay between what you're watching and what's actually happening. So I think that hurts a little bit for some reasons, but I think it's great also because this show, although it's a trading show, you can clearly see visually we're trying to get much improved on that one. So yeah, Oklo was a good one. Well, I thought Oklo was reporting last night, and it was not. Apparently Oklo getting the CNBC bump right there. Maybe Josh Brown paid to have this endorsed, but there it goes from 73 all the way back up to 75 and change right there for Oklo. Again, I like the space, man. I really like all of this stuff. I like, yeah, I like the fact that we have to power, right? It's why I really like Marvell in the space as well. There's so many different plays that you can make. Nvidia is obviously a huge core holding of mine, but in order to make a little bit of money in other places, we're taking stuff like Marvell. We're taking stuff like Webull that we recommended this at $11, right? And you can see where this is right now. So that dog will hunt. Now Webull, we're long at 11. That goes up to 18s right there where we were able to get some out, again, live on the show, right? So this is what we're doing. I'm not just making calls and telling you guys about it afterwards. We're making calls and putting them on and actually going over them and, you know, discussing them live on the show. So there it goes. You guys know that we bought Eli Lilly down near the bottom. That's having quite the day as well. Well, not anymore. Now flat, but was a nice little move higher. Yesterday we get that report that the oral drug there, and I know Viking, you can see Viking got crushed on their earnings. Eli Lilly the other way. Novo Nordisk actually also had a decent move higher, I believe, as well over the last little while. Yeah, there it is there. Novo Nordisk off the bottom as well, 45 up to 55. So the space is starting to get a little bit better here. And we talk about XBI and the biotech ETFs and whatnot. I think that those are going to be hot trades as well moving forward now that we've sort of covered up some of those bottoms. And there it goes right now, the XBI. Another name that, you know, we've been talking about and I liked, and we were able to buy some stuff near the bottom there. Berkshire is another name that I'm looking to pick up more shares in as well. But there it is, man. And then Oscar. Yeah, Berkshire is great, and Oscar also a good little report there for us on earnings as well.
Oh, just Viking wasn't the earnings; it was the update on their oral.
Yeah, but after earnings though it was, right?
Well, yeah,
it was the day after.
Yeah, it was the update of the oral was insane. I don't think I've ever seen. Well, maybe I shouldn't say ever, but I can't think of a time that I've ever seen a stock go. It was at like 40. It was trading at like 41, 42. Went to $60. And then to 26.
Oh yeah.
Like it was completely insane. Like you went from if you had orders out there, you're like, oh my god, and then it's like, oh, well that win was short-lived because we took some out and then got stopped out. So I took a third out on the way up and then got stopped out on the 50 period and basically didn't make anything on it. But I would have never been sitting there with the whole thing out. There's no chance. There's no chance. Like it's just you kind of don't expect that to happen. Speaking of Berkshire, UNH actually up today. Right, and remember, again, the U.S. government looking into them. They gapped down. Okay, they didn't really gap down. They moved down in the aftermarket yesterday and then opened up down there, but been bought up above $300 again. Somebody likes the $300 level, and I'm not saying it's Berkshire Hathaway. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. Like at this point, the stock is doing that consolidative thing. The difference being this time it's consolidating above the 50-period moving average on the daily. It just feels like this one's trying to get that bottom in for sure. We'll see. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can do a heck of a lot worse. And when you see an obvious support level with a company with a gigantic amount of capital to spend like Berkshire, if they happen to like it, they got to buy something more. So why not the thing that they've already picked some up of? I would not be surprised if we see them pop another few percentage points on their UNH position with the next round of 13F. So, count me as someone who is buying it after I see this today. I probably would have done it yesterday, now that I think about it, but I wasn't really paying as much attention to the market to have noticed UNH in particular. But this close above 300 today is going to be good enough. You just buy it in front of the 50 period. It's literally... You're talking $15 worth of risk to break the 50-period moving average on a $30 stock. That's like peanuts. And the 200-period moving average is like $120 higher. Like the R&R is pretty solid to get it in here on UNH. We'll see. But I'll probably end up getting this one at the close.
Yeah,
I think the close better than the open, statistically.
Yo, you're going to buy some UNH?
Yeah, I'll get in again.
Yeah. I know.
I-
You've
it was
mentioned that you like the closing prices.
Yeah. It's
for-
not that it matters that much, but it's
I don't
just
think it matters at
overall.
all, but you can probably
Statistically, it's
ask. It's like what I said. It's actually better to buy stocks and the market at all-time highs instead of dollar cost averaging. We talked about that on the show as well. And it's just a few percentage points, but hey, over time.
I got to read that study because I would love to see the methodology, because dollar cost averaging doesn't involve buying the same amount each time. So you'd have to have some So
I think it's probably using the same amount. Like, for example, if you're buying $1,000 every month, it's actually better to buy it every time it's at the all-time highs. But I don't know, like you're saying, the actual amount of money. I don't know how it works. But I think I think it's just index related anyways. But I think it would work for stocks as well, because then you're buying stocks that are working for you. Right? When you're just buying dollar cost averaging, a lot of time we'll buy dips, and sometimes those dips continue, right? And so you would never buy a dip if you're doing the all-time highs. You're only buying it when it breaks out, right? Which means you would have been long the Nasdaq probably. I mean, this year it would have been awesome. This year.
But I think personally, the only thing that to me, DCA means that you're buying regardless of what's going on.
Right, yeah,
The only thing I ever
Always buy.
DCA is an index for that reason.
Right.
Because in my opinion, the only thing that I'm sure will always be up is the index over time. Like anything can happen to an individual stock.
Yeah.
You could, I'll buy the dip at the 200 period on the stock.
I think the study was indexes.
Oh, was index? Okay, well that makes more sense. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes tons.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So every time you hear all-time highs, just hit the buy button and don't worry about it. And then you'll be better off than trying to guess.
Just one thing, Lane Carter, the chat's not delayed. The chat's real time.
Right.
The delay will be in the actual stream itself. As far as I know, the chat's always. I mean, my stream is always. Oh, now my stream is buffering.
I've already spoken to the executive producer here, and we're gonna think about turning this backwards.
My stream is buffering.
We don't want this to be delayed, right? And so, right now $3 in the money right now. Good pullback there for Nvidia. We talked about that was going to be our price. So right now we're going to sit here and try to see what we want to do here with the market and with Nvidia specifically here into today. Of course, a couple stories that we had earlier on was PayPal. We talked a little bit about them getting the glitch there figured out from some German banks there. That was some sort of a safety glitch there where it was fraudulent transactions going through and all that. So PayPal today, nice upside trade there for PayPal. We did have KSS, of course, yesterday looking for money, then coming out with a great report, now up 18%. I think this is a fugazi and it comes back right back in. So if you're long on KSS, I would worry a little bit about that. You don't just all of a sudden fix your problems like that. But this was a $4 or $5 stock. Now you're up to 17. And during the pregame, we actually came into here and looked at this level and was like, if we can get this trade up in this area, it's probably a short. And that turns out to be pretty much what it was. And then the beast of the beasts today is the MongoDB, as that just keeps on climbing. So yeah, man, I mean, AI, big data, all that kind of stuff, just making everything more efficient for MongoDB. Now talking about backlogged as far as orders are concerned. They're becoming more efficient, higher margins, a better guide for Mongo. And I know Mongo McMichael there from wrestling, but I don't know anything about this stock. It looks like it's trying to take down this $300 level. So for me, if you're looking at this name and you already have this monster win in your account today, that level looks pretty good for me if I was looking to get out of something right there. Look, I did the same thing with Snowflake. Whether or not Snow beats it or not, I was getting out of Snowflake a little while ago on the same kind of a thing. When I scrolled this out, I was looking right up to here at 200. Once we took down 200, it looks like it was probably in and around 195. I think I have to zoom back out even more than that, but in and around here, we had come through, and this was before all of this had happened. Once we got to these levels right there, I wound up selling right into here not some, there it is, okay, so there it is. So some Snowflake, right? I mean, we've already been huge on Snowflake. This was one of those names that I was involved in on its IPO as well, so it was a pretty good trade. But right into here, these levels, the 200 mark came in, and we've only spent over the last 3 years, we spent maybe a month or two above this level. And we've came back in every time. So yeah, I got out of Snowflake. So I think the same thing there, possible for MongoDB. And you want to make sure
crazy, though,
that you take some kind of profit.
This is like the break that this is doing on a weekly chart is wild. It's a runaway on the weekly. It's gone essentially in one day. You've gone 50 to the 200 almost. I mean, don't at me. Like the 200 period on the weekly is another what is that, $10? But still, like the stock's up $80 today. So like that $10 is like it's a rounding error. Not really rounding error, but it's
What stock is up $80?
Mongo.
Oh, Mongo, yeah. Oh,
it's up $80. So like that next $10 on the weekly is insane. Like you could close this candle on the weekly up here at the 200 period and still be, like I know it'd be at resistance, but you'd still be another $60 away from the next spot to go on this trend break. It looks like this could be a good one in a higher time frame. It's so, like it's just so beaten up. You have to go to a 3-month to get a better look. This is the problem when you want to go back to those like COVID highs. It's like we're getting far enough away from them that the time frame charts you got to go to is a little bit intense. Like you're not even close. Like I'm drawing the trend line from the lower high that we had. There we go. The lower high that we had in 2024. But you got to remember, this is a stock that went almost 600 to 160. It's now bouncing off that same 160 level. So even if it were to only get back into 360 to 400, that's still another sizable move for Mongo. And I saw someone in the chat, and I'm just going to get this out of the way now. It's like, so should I buy puts on Walgreens? No. I can't, like Walgreens, it's being deleted today, but it's a cash deal. It's being bought for $11.45 cash plus like a CVR. I think it has something to do with like one of their future business segments, blah, blah, blah. So it's worth more than $11.45, but that doesn't actually mean the stock is going to move today. Do not expect Walgreens to go crazy. However, on the off chance that it does, like if this thing gets into like the 15 to 12 quarter range, yeah, like if I see it go a couple of points to the upside in the sell and balance, 100%, I'm gonna look for the short on it. But it's moved like 5 pennies today. And if it moves 5 pennies at the close, that would be huge. Right, so I think that would be the kind of thing you look forward to, but it's just a big cash deal. IBKR, I think, has a better chance to move more because it's a momentum stock with, there's nothing constraining it is the best way to put it, IBKR. So like we're expecting that one could be a bit of a buy today, but their Nasdaq, both of them, you won't know until 350. It's not like when we can sit there saying, oh my goodness, look at the size of that imbalance, it's growing. You will have no idea until 350 hits, and then you just got to react.
Yeah. Oh no, I have an idea about Walgreens. It's going to be a huge sell imbalance. So get ready for that because it is an official delete, right? It'll be off the market tomorrow. So
it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So we'll wait to see what's going on over there. New position alert. So I think I was just looking. I think Neil's. I've only traded 4 positions here, including this one with Google. I think Neil's about 10 positions today. We're going to be looking for opportunities, and we just trade our own books, right? And so whatever I'm in is going to be different than everybody else, and so on and so forth, right? And so right here, we're going to try to pick on Google just a little bit. It's come in. I'm not going to hold this below what the day's low is right there or the afternoon low, this 206, basically 50. If we can come in just a little bit there and grab that, fine. I'm just thinking that we could get a little, I'm very, very light. We don't even have, not even a unit yet. And I think we'll try to get about a unit if we can come into this area right here. Again, really like the stock, although, it was pushing today when the market wasn't. And right now the market's kind of pushing and Google's not. So that's little bit of a worry stake for me right there. I am trying to get double my position, a little bit more than double it. If we can get down to 207 flat, that will be a buy. And then, we've already been down here a couple times. So hopefully we're able to get that rebound. And it's only 50 cents. So that's the max. If you got it the first time there, it went 50 cents. Then if you got it there, it went 25 cents, 30 cents. Then if you got it here, it went 50 cents again. But both times we bounced off VWAP. So I'm not in complete love with this. If anything, I'm actually thinking about a short in this stock, but I like the long in the market. I'm going to think about choosing Google over the market right now, but there's also a potential here with the Nasdaq of it riding this 50-period moving average, which it's been doing since 1 o'clock. So we have, about 2 hours or so of memory here, straight upside off of the 50-period moving average. So again, I like that stock, but would like to see a little bit more movement before we get going. Again, yeah, there's flies everywhere right here. We do have our door got discovered on the other side there. But of course, just outside the door are flaming hot garbage cans. So we do not need those doors open because that would be a nice waft
be open for
to come through there as well. So shout out to Russell and I think that's about it. Yeah, I saw him hacking it out over there.
I saw Randy over there for.
Randy was over there, yeah.
He was definitely there.
He was definitely there.
Definitely there.
Thanks for supervising my guy.
Randy's the best supervisor in the business.
Yeah, he's one of the best supervisors. I think I'm a really good supervisor, but Randy is also a really good.
Ooh, we got a super chat here. AXPM. Good name. You got smoke today shorting MongoDB. Got a good short breaking the pre-market high, going down at the open, but didn't take any profits. Any tips for profit taking? Well, I think when you look at here, let's actually look at MongoDB. MongoDB. Oh, so you had this. So you had this wick. I'm assuming maybe you mean like this wick off of the open. Like you shorted the false break of the open in here, which would have been about 280. I mean, the top is 285 and lower high 282. Like VWAP is here at 280. Like that's one place where it's like throw an order there. I 100% any false break of the open, some out at VWAP, some out in front of the pre-market low. Because then at least you've taken 1, 2, and then it trends up. Maybe you get it all out when it breaks trending around here somewhere, if you like it. But yeah, the VWAP and the pre-market low to take some profit. And then if it continues, you're able to get some more. So that would be my 2 cents, because that's what on any open fail break, those are the 2 places that I'm automatically taking profit. The early volume weighted average price and the pre-market low. Let's go to Adara.
All right, yeah, sorry, I thought we were going to the ad read. Keep an eye here on BMR. Beamer on watch NVIDIA, commenting on the company's video of, I guess, one of their demonstrations, saying that it's good to see their collaboration driving impact in AV infrastructure. So BMR getting a bit of a cosign here from NVIDIA Drive. Back to you.
Yeah, what's up, Havana Woody? Yeah, I think I look younger than Neil. So what's up at Havana? No, I'm just playing. I have no idea. What's up, Havana Woody? Okay, right now, Beta Pro right there. Make sure you do scan that QR code. You do have exciting news for Canadian traders. Beta Pro by Global X has just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs offering 3 times bull, 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60 semiconductors and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st. These ETFs also employ, this is the important part, currency hedging to seek to neutralize dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equities. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, please check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn more. Get you.
It's actually just the one, and it just doesn't care.
Fly. Yeah, well,
but the problem is
there's going to be its life in a couple seconds.
Oh, it's not going to last.
Then it's going to be a problem for that spider. Okay, so spider. Yeah, if there was a spider, you wouldn't even be here, right? Remind me of my daughter.
I'm at the point now where I have no choice. My daughter is. Okay. She's too afraid of them, so now it's just like I just got to keep dealing with them. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like the thing. Like I never want to have to deal with them, but
we just missed.
She's too afraid.
Yeah. My daughter's nervous about spiders, but she's.
You know what it is? It's at least from what I've read, the reason why we're afraid of arachnids and why it's such a big fear for everybody, it's the fact that they have more than 6 legs. It makes them very unpredictable in their movement. Any direction at any time kind of deal. It's like sometimes people are afraid of crab.
What about when they don't have legs, like a snake?
Well, I think snake's probably a different one, but that's what specifically for arachnids. That's what I read. I'm like, it kind of makes sense.
All right.
But overall, it's like they can't really hurt you. But I get rid of them anyways. Just quickly, before I gave that super chat, I had the chart up of Intel, but then I was answering a question about the super chat, and this is the trend line. This is Intel. It's the afternoon, so just like a standard trend break, but not from the all-day trend. This is the morning high breakout. This is the first test back into the high, hold, break. Right, so it's the morning area breakout on Intel, which is coming right back in. And no, we do not need more spiders. We do absolutely. They're unnecessary. I'm sure they.
Look, I'll tell you guys right now here, this is the time in Toronto right now. People are wondering about the lag. It's 2:51:20. So if I actually, so you guys can see what time it is where you guys are. So here it is right here, the live level 2 or trading. So there's the time in sales, 51:27s. Sorry, my bad. I got to put this to the front. 33s, 35. So the timing right now is good to go.
Mine's 17 seconds.
What?
the
the stream. Yeah, well, we're right here right now.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, anyways, check that out, and that's what it is. Just in case you guys were wondering about that. So yeah, that's all good. All right. So most recent trade there is going to be Google again, and just waiting. If it does drop into 207, we'll take a little bit more right there. No, I do not suggest getting into Snowflake. I mean, I don't, it's up to you guys. It's up 4% today. The implied move of Snowflake is 12%. And I've already sort of zoomed this out, and I had just sort of showed where I thought Snowflake was. And it's at this 200 mark, which is fine. It's just we've spent a little bit of time over 200 right here, and a little bit of time over 200 right here. Whoops. But other than that, in the last two and a bit years, we haven't. It doesn't mean it's not going to work now. We're in a great age for data. And we'll have to wait to see a Frank Slootman name. I mean, I initially bought this because of him, and then now he's out. So we'll have to figure out what happens here with Snowflake. Nice move right now, upside today off of MongoDB. But, you know, you could see this was just 230 not too long ago. So we'll see if it has that 10% move today and gets back into 220. It could. I mean, this thing could absolutely blast. You could be up 30 or 40%. But if you're playing the implied move, it is that whatever I just said there, 12.5. So, you know, you are going to have to pay the piper as far as options are concerned. And a $200 name, I don't know if there's a Snow ETF or something that gives you a little bit more juice to it, like a 2x lever. I guess it wouldn't be an ETF, a product like that. Maybe there is a trade coming through there for Snowflake.
Looks like SNOU.
Yes, sir. I was just going to say it, SNOU. So SNOU, I guess, is the one that exists. That's the only one I'm finding right now.
Snoo.
What's up, Fabian?
Crank that.
Putting some more 4K over there, Fabian, or what?
I don't like that monthly chart, by the way, on Snowflake. Just gonna throw that.
Yeah, I mean, I've already said my beef with that.
I was in this one. I think I had it like a year and a half ago. It might even be close to 2 years. But you look at the monthly chart, double bottom on the monthly. The prior support, like when this thing opened up, supported about 230. Now resistance at 230, backing off of 230. That's the level that has to go. Like if this thing gets over maybe even more the 240 hump, then it's all systems go on Snow. Otherwise, like down in the mid 100s has been absolutely gold on the side. Like if you watch it bounce, you grab the higher low and then it goes. So it seems like it's back into the same resistance at $240, and until it breaks out that level, I think you just got to be patient with Snowflake. You know, you got to. The thing is, like I love the higher time frames. If you're looking at a stock for a longer term, then make sure you're looking at a longer term out in there. And I think the 3-month chart on this speaks some kind of volumes.
All right. Here we go.
It's SNOU, by the way, not S. We said SNOU, but that 2x leverage Snowflake is SNOU. I don't even know if do we have it in the platform? Yeah.
SNOU.
Yeah. What the heck is that called? I got to read this.
Snowflake.
T-Rex 2x long.
Yeah,
Snow Daily.
Get out those claws.
T-Rex. Okay, nice. T-Rex. I guess that's the name of the firm.
Yeah, we are. I want to thank everybody for watching right now. You know, we're starting to get more viewers here as we get ready for the NVIDIA show. Join Neil and Dara tonight. Should be a great one. We are excited for that one. And by the way, there it is right now. Wake up, America. Wake up, India. Wake up, UK. Wake up, Canada. Wherever you're at.
Wake up, Brazil.
We're live. Wake up, Brazil. Wake up, Portugal.
Portugal.
Wait a minute, what time is it? So right now, in Europe, it'd be a little bit later, but it's not. Yeah, it's not bedtime yet.
No, it's dinner time.
Yeah, dinner time right now. Well, I'm still going to bed around midnight. I got to do better on my bedtime. Okay, so we just bought some more. I just said wake up basically because we just bought some more. So right now, Google, an amazing 10 cents in the money right now as we wait to see what's going on for Google. But like I said, man, we're 2 for 3. I'm 2 for 3 today, looking to add on to that right here, see if we can go 3 for 4. And just trading some Google. I like the name. I think if there's going to be strength here in the afternoon, Google should play again. And the market pretty flat, so we'll have to wait to see what's going on with Google. Hey, man, get into that chat. Ask us whatever you want. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. And if you are in the chat, there's a perfect opportunity for you to tell us what names you want us to look at. Okay, obviously, NVIDIA will be the big one tonight, so we'll look at that. Again, I'll say my piece. We've already It's going out near all-time highs. I'm a little bit concerned that we're at that level, which is why I think the implied move is just 6%. I would say we could be that or slightly under as a move. But hey, if you get a 5% move on Nvidia at 181, man, you're going to be pushing near that $200 mark. Tomorrow, 190 and change. We'll see where that can go tomorrow, breaking through. Hey, look, all-time highs for this $4.4 trillion name. We'll take it, man. We'll take it every day. I can just pause this right now so we don't have to worry about it. Big Bear AI. Again, we got to wait for this to get to $3 again. That's the last, we bought it at 543. So we'll have to wait for Big Bear AI to slip down in there a little bit today. LUMN Technologies up 11%. That's a great one. We've sort of talked a little bit about Robinhood. We love us some Eli Lilly as well. That right now just down 1/4%. Diversify your holdings. Get some Eli Lilly. Oh no, not ELF.
You got Palantir.
All right. Yeah. Palantir, never heard of it. All right. So ELF right here, although I should. Maybe.
Elf on the show.
How does this look in 4K? There we go. Palantir Investor. Palantir is, I'm pretty happy. I mean, the first basically, we've done well. We're long that name from a long time ago. So thank you for the hat. Old trader Prad, what's up to him as well. But here's Elf Cosmetics, man. I'm never going to hear the end of this one as my family just keeps on spending all this hard-earned trade money on Elf Cosmetic products. And even yesterday, my 11-year-old goes, "Oh, did you hear that Rhone is it Rhone or Rode is now being sold at Sephora?" And I said, "Yeah, that's because that deal with Elf." And so Elf right there, a nice little move to the upside as Hailey Bieber's Rhone, I think it is. Hailey Bieber's, I don't have Ramin here to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure, skincare company or cosmetic company bought out by Elf, and apparently some great products. But yeah, my family is all about that, Sephora, and all about having...
The space has been crushing it.
Yeah, exactly, and all about having a nightly routine and all of that kind of stuff. So shout out to the lovely women in my life. All right, so there's $100. Great level there, for the 200 period moving average. So hopefully Marissa's actually... might be watching this. So what's up, Marissa? I did not buy Elf on your recommendation when we were down here, so I'm never going to hear.
What day was that?
I have no idea.
I'm just curious what.
Well, when she recommended
No,
it?
I'm curious which has moved more, Elf or Ulta at that time? Because it wasn't this. I feel like.
Yeah, we went into Buffalo, and
the discussion was between Elf and something else. We were talking about
I should be long Ulta Beauty and Elf.
It was Ulta that we started that conversation with. Then you mentioned Elf.
Either way,
I think Ulta might be.
I love Ulta Beauty.
It might be doing better. I don't know.
They're more the retail side of it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, both of them have been crushing it lately. So
yeah. All right. I'm going to take out 2% here. So there it is. We get some out at 17, and just nice move up there. I guess we should have waited for 207 to begin with, but we take a small piece there. We had just a little bit more down there. We have about half a unit or so of this trade. So we'll take a little bit off and just to help pay for that face wash that I was just talking about. So that's good there. And I'm just going to hold on to Nvidia. So I have a very, very small piece, man, when you're talking about under 5% right now left of this trade. So I'm super happy. This is sort of lighting the torch here today, is Nvidia, and yeah, good job. We actually have the low of the day and the high of the day in our account right there. So this is how I trade. Hopefully you guys are on some sort of similar tip right there, but that is Nvidia, nice upside move. Tesla, yeah, same type of thing, man. We have under that 5% left of Tesla. Good out there. Good out there at 352 for Tesla. On the way up, we got some out at 351s as well. Now you're starting to fade just a little bit. I'm going to take advantage of it and see if I can get something out now in the 60s on TS. There it is. Did we just get that? No, we did not. All right, that sucks. I was offering 66s there as here we come back in as Power Hour has ignited a little bit of a sell-off. Give me those 66s. Give me that nut 66. Doesn't look like we're going to get there right now. But that's those are some plays that there. Oh, no, Easy says no to that. So we'll wait and see if we are able to grab that 350.66 and put a little bit of profit back in the pocket there and get under the values here for Tesla. Because if we lose, let's not let this get carried away. All right, that's 350, fine, done. So my stop before on this name was, I got to go find it, was 348 and change. We were actually going to use some of these, that bottom wasn't made when we took this trade. It was probably right in there, yeah, 349.75. So again, with about 50 cents, probably about $1. I generally will risk about $1 on, oh, there it is. We get that price, so bang. we get 66s. But I will probably just use 350 for a stop. So again, well traded there, 350s in, 350 out, so that's $3.50. We're only risking probably $1, so good little trade there. And here it goes right there, blasting back up to the upside. So let's go, man. We've got Tesla, we've got Nvidia, and we've got Google right now. I'm long, we're short over on the other side. So let's just see what winds up happening. Now, daily goal met, so that's good right here, right now. So pretty good. It took me all day to hit that goal, but that's what we sit here and trade for. I was able to get to the gym, that was fun, and then a little bit of talk here. Went to Starbucks, got a coffee, and now we sit back and we wait for the big event.
The biggest
happening 4:05-ish.
And we'll have it live for you, all the preparation. I think, well, actually, I don't think we were expecting until 4:20. Although I feel like we've had them before that time. But there's other names that are going to report before NVIDIA, and there's a lot to go over and talk about before we get there. So make sure you tune in. It's always fun, but NVIDIA earnings just sort of hit different, right? In terms of the actual impact on the market. So we all seem to care just a little bit more about that. Intel just managed to bounce off first support, right, at 75, short 86, 85 half. It just sometimes it rounds up, sometimes it rounds down. I can't even figure it out. But 75 just bounced. I'm looking for the pullback into VWAP. It's just a simple trend break trade. I am in this, I want to say Scooble. It's KBL. Like it's Skyline Builders Group. I say Scooble because like the ace that we're going to have to go through for the Jays to make it to the World Series. That guy is an absolute
good luck with
beast.
that.
Anyways, this is a VWAP short on SKBL. He is hands down. People call it aura, whatever it is. The dude is so chill on the mound.
Nice.
He knows exactly how freaking good he is because he's out there like, when dudes, he'll be like, oh, you got me, and if somebody hits a home run off him, he'll smile and be like, yeah, you got, and then come back and strike him out with 100 the next time. You know you're good when you're not. He doesn't even get mad. He's not even hating. He's just like, whatever. And the Jays are going to have to go through him.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
You're going to have to face him twice in the series. Yeah, Detroit, you guys have an absolute.
We don't have a bullpen anymore. It seems like Hoffman blew it yesterday.
No, we're screwed. We have
competent management continues.
It's there was a silly thing. They bet on the Blue Jays bet on getting health back from one of their relievers, and he is now not coming back, Yimi Garcia, and we didn't go out and get a closer.
Okay, I don't even know
because we're silly, and they were out there, and we could have paid for them, and instead of Philly getting Duran, we could have Duran. We decided that we would like to go in there with Intel as our closer instead of going out there and getting Nvidia. That's essentially what the Blue Jays management did. And now our ninth innings are going to be stress buckets. But that's what beer at the ball game is for, apparently.
All baseball games.
Well, maybe a little extra in the playoffs.
Yeah. Thank God baseball's a summer sport, man. You get to relax, sit out there, have a drink. I mean, obviously it can't be played in winter.
That's the best part about
here,
it.
But
yes. That's why it's good for families.
I agree on that one.
And the playoff atmosphere it's all about. If you're not getting playoff atmosphere, it's just not the same thing. All right, let's see this Nasdaq. Nasdaq is pulling back. I don't know. We might go red today on the Nasdaq. It's putting in higher lows, but we're now back underneath like pre-market and overnight highs. We're threatening to break trend here on the Nasdaq as well. Like if you pull back into VWAP, like what's leading the charge? Palantir's at the lows, I guess. What's Apple doing?
Yeah. I mean, we just got some more out on Google there. Nice little win for us on Google.
Apple's strong. It's doing fine. Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, here's Google. Come over to my screen right here if you guys want to. I mean, I don't know. I've been hitting this trade, and there it goes. I mean, we're sitting here on Nasdaq. Hopefully, we get this fill actually at 25s, and there it goes. It's right through us. So yeah, man. There's just to give you
another one. Another one.
There it is. Got some 29s.
Another one.
So right there. Good day overall here. Trading. I hope you guys are doing it as well. But yeah, if you find any other opportunities, let's talk about them because.
We just got another super chat here. Venue 42, Venue meaning of life. How does BMR chart look on this NVIDIA news? Remember, NVIDIA news is tonight, baby. Everybody would just be speculating how that's going to go, but it used to be anything to do with NVIDIA and you were good to go. There's a saying that we like to use. Well, I use it. I've heard Treef use it. Like a habitual offender or like a habitual line stepper. This is a habitual line stepper. I don't care what the fundamentals are. When I look at a chart that has a history of pump, dump, lower high, pump dump, lower high, pump dump, lower high, just lower high after lower high after lower high, and every single parabolic move gets faded and eventually makes a new low, and then another move happens, then makes a new low, and then what does it do? Managed to somehow do it a couple of times in here today. It's just a fade. Like there's a pattern that happens on these stocks, and the only way I'm ever interested in them is if you show signs of breaking that pattern. Like one of these moves has to result in breaking the prior, what do we call it? Like prior wick high, right? Like break out and hold one of these levels. So it just doesn't seem to happen on this. Like the next one would be, can it hold maybe like $4 on a close, like close above $4 a couple of days, and then you can really get going. So, that's what has to happen for a habitual line stepper like BMR, unfortunately. It's not like it never happens. It can happen. Look, Open Door is an example of a stock that eventually did it. Habitual line stepper, and eventually it broke out. And congratulations to everybody that was, maybe you pegged the bottom, I don't know why you would have, or the first time through, you could have just waited for it to get above that prior high. The day that it did that, it opened at 260, got to $5, and closed at 340. So that was a pretty good day for it if you tried it on that day. But that's what I'd be looking for, like that prior. Sometimes we call it like the bag holder level, right? So maybe when it breaks a bag holder level, you can look a little bit better on that.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at that today. But okay, so here we go. I took some more out of Google. Well, you guys saw that at 30, so we're going to wait now at 25, see if we're able to get something going on there as well. So yeah, so far so good here on the day. And again, we just want to thank everybody for watching. I mean, I think it's what we're putting on right now in 4K. Coming through, so you can see the hat better right there. But let's just go on and see what other kind of names we want to talk about. We did have that big MongoDB trade earlier on today where it just keeps on heading higher, man, 36% and nothing but upside love right now with almost all of the S&P 500 reporting. It's been a great reporting season, and we do have, remember, the environment of rate cuts right now. And I mean, we have over 90% this morning. We'll refresh this again. It's going to be the same thing until we get different numbers, 87, 88% chance of a rate cut coming in September. And then by the time December is here, there's actually about 40% chance that we have 3 cuts by that time. And so that's half of what we expected at the beginning of the year, but still nice little numbers there coming through for everybody on the rate cut. And then you get great earnings and overall beat, an expensive market, which is the problem on some of these names. But other than that, man, I mean, it's looking pretty juicy right now that we get a Fed that's participating in what we need, right? We had a great Jackson Hole that somebody called there, and I hope a lot of you guys were long, and I hope there's a lot of money made. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I feel pretty bullish about this market. It's been a bull run for a very, very long time. We're not selling too many things at these highs. We think it's going to go a lot higher. And we recently bought Apple. That's how much we thought the market was going to go. We're long Apple down here in the 2 teens, right? And so that I think it was $2, I wish, $2.12. So good little move up there for Apple with bigger and better things to come in the Apple ecosystem being released. I think it was September 7th or something like that, 9th. So there we go, September 9th, you're going to hear all about Apple. And at that day, probably this stock will, what day is it now? Oh, so that's not too far. I was going to say maybe reach 250, but that's only 2 weeks away. So I don't know about 250, but that's the target area for me. Upside on Apple. I'm an own, don't trade of this stock and of Nvidia and of everything pretty much. Getting out little pieces on the way up, but right now Apple, pretty full position for me. I like this stock. Yeah, RGTI. There's a whole bunch of names floating around, and we'll get to them very, very soon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But everybody, check them out. Empowered women can change the world, and you can help make it happen. The Woman Boss trains and mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. Since 2018, we've reached over 10,000 women and girls, and your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. Scan the QR code on your screen now and join us in building a brighter future. And why not? I think that sounds fantastic. You mentioned Rigetti there. Just one before I get to Rigetti, because that's the daily chart's spicy on Rigetti. Yeah. Intel, I'm going to try to reload it at the entry price. Well, okay, more like 84s. I got 85.5. It'll say 86, but it's at 85.5. Got a midpoint. I like to use midpoints when it's not really going anywhere. It saves you like a half a point every single time. So we're going to reload it, not move the stop. It's still going to stay about the break-even spot. But when it comes to Rigetti, load, you get there. Oh no, it's pulling back today. But if you look at Rigetti, remember Rigetti and the 50-period moving average. It is holding like an absolute champion at the 50-period moving average, and it did it again. Is what it is. I wasn't here yesterday, but it did it again with this wick and hold right at the open. Like it was gapped down underneath, and then right at the open. Like this is literally the $14, and it bounced right off. So until proven otherwise, Rigetti, to me, you're buying this thing at the 50 whenever you get a chance as a day trade. If you're trying to swing it, yeah, you just got to remember, you know, they're not making any money. The market, for everyone that talks about the market cap of Palantir being too pricey or those cybersecurity names are too expensive, just have a look at any of these quantum names, or even some of the small modular reactor names too, like the nuclear names are like they're insane. You know, you're talking about tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes, or maybe they got $1 million in revenues and then billion-dollar market caps.
Oh boy,
it's a different beast. And Rigetti falls in that category. So I'm talking about a technical trade on Rigetti, not some, you know, hey, they just buy and hold it here forever. No, you got.
Wait a minute, Webull reports? Did we miss Webull? Webull, I think, reports maybe tonight as well. The market right here is taking a dump to the downside right now. So we get out at 350. When that winds up breaking, we just talked about our Google trade. We got out some more up there just real recently. There's that fill that I thought we got live and we didn't. So there's 25. Nice move to the downside right now. Going lower right here, 206.50 is my stop out level here for Google. So I don't know, where's Adair? She's over there. If any news is hit, man, we'll get it to you immediately, but she's not seeing anything. So, okay, all aboard. I thought I had, so I think my Google's canceled by accident down there. Like, is it tomorrow? Okay.
I think it's tomorrow.
206.50 break there. I just saw a note here on Benzinga. It just said, I can just click on a Webull right now. It said Webull Q2 earnings preview. So tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Okay.
I just checked. That's what I was going to say. August 28th.
Right.
The call is at 5 p.m. So I'm guessing the earnings will be before then. But if I have more details, I'll let you know.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
there's a lot at stake for them too.
5 p.m.
Have been moving.
Yeah. So Webull will be a good one there. And what to expect? Can crypto relaunch help boost shares? I don't know about all this stuff. I don't know about all this crypto stuff, to be honest with you. Okay, so here we go with.
That's why I like bull and so. It's more than just crypto, right? Like the 24-hour market, I think, is so big for. It's big for bull. It's big for Robinhood.
Yeah.
It's not just a crypto play. We got to remember the market is going 24/5 next year. I don't remember. Don't at me. I don't know exactly what day it's going to happen, but it is absolutely happening. Part of why we're doing what we're doing here to get you guys the best show possible in preparation for that. Volumes are going to be like everything grows. So whether you're talking tokenization, great. Crypto trading, great. Transfers, all that stuff. But just the sheer trading volume is going to bode well for Webull and for Robinhood. That's part of the reason. Everyone always talks about crypto for them as if that's the only thing you have going. Heck, IBKR, which is another reason why that's going in the S&P 500. Let's be real. You know, S&P 500, IBKR tonight, Interactive Brokers, they're going to stand to benefit from it. I understand. Bull's not having a good day today. And it just spiked.
Yuck.
It literally broke the low of the day as we were talking about it. So that was rather ominous. But as far as I'm concerned, and when you buy off the $10 level, you had a couple of months to be able to get that down here, and it's also holding the 50-period moving average. So it's a nice trend, actually a wedge pattern forming. This wouldn't be a bad place, I think, if it loses the 50 to trim. I've already trimmed once, but trim again and then wait for 10-11 if it breaks a 50-period moving average, because that's a stock that I would buy if it got down there another time. So we'll see. Tomorrow after the bell, it's not just always about Nvidia. Nvidia is a big one, but yeah, lots of earnings names to get to. Even tonight, with Snowflake, 5 as well. So it's going to be a while.
5 below.
For sure. 5, hopefully
Look out
not below.
below. What's up, Rona Kumar? Are we hiring? Yes, we're always looking for more talent, so you can, send whatever resumes you want in there. We are planning on doing a show, like was Neil's mentioning there, where we probably have an office outside of Canada, in Asia somewhere, where we're able to put on a show for you during the Asian markets. I mean, Trader TV Live is going worldwide, Mr. Worldwide. Prestige worldwide. That's the best, man. Step Brothers is the best, man. Boats and hoes, man. I mean, what are you going to do? Prestige worldwide. Shut up. Put some ones. I'm putting some ones up in the chat for Step Brothers, man. I am loving the Step Brothers movie over and over and over again. That's just a classic movie there. Prestige world. The boats and hoes is too much. Like the poor dad is sitting there and these guys are showing the video and then the boat crashes and the guy's like, oh man, my whole retirement. And then Will Ferrell there is like, yeah, but do you want to invest? And it's just like, it is the funniest thing ever. But what's up? Shout out to Boats and Hoes right there as it goes on and on. Maybe we shouldn't talk like, I don't know, I don't want to sing it because, I don't want to get a royalty problem here, nor do we want to get poached for our voice. So we'll wait for that one. Okay, so that's what that was. All right, so, hey, look, let's go. I thought it's really stupid because I canceled. I don't know what happened actually with my Google trade because we had actually talked about this and I thought as it was tanking, I was going to get filled. Like I was bidding 70s because I'm using 50. I just checked my stop. That's what we were doing when it crashed. I'm using 50s here as my out for Google. So I would have taken that fill, woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't. But at the end of the day, I mean that to me is a great fill down there. And then you just wait to see what winds up happening. I mean, we didn't expect this move to happen in the Nasdaq for sure, but ahead of earnings, definitely making more and more sense to me that we are going to get some negativity, not negativity, but there are traders that are quite clearly cashing out of some Nvidia before. I mean, if you can get out near the day's high or all-time highs, sorry, that's probably a decent trade. So that's what we wound up doing. And again, we don't raw dog it around here. We take it out when it breaks 350. So there's Tesla downside, man. We just always trading with stops. I don't think there's any other way to do it. So we get stopped out of Tesla, which is fine by me. We had less than, like I said, less than 5%, and we actually got out just before this dump right there. So that was actually a pretty good level to get out at, and then boom, downside right there. So P&L 1, Nvidia, P&L 2, Tesla. We're going to see if we can, obviously we're green on Google. I mean, we're in the money now, and we've only taken out profits on it. So let's wait to see if Google can help us out here today and keep sort of the streak alive. Yesterday was another great day, and today hopefully we'll be able to replicate
Open
something.
Just got smoked.
I was just going to say, I've already said my piece on Open Door and where I think this should properly be trading, and I think that's a little bit lower into $3.
Yeah, 3 looks like it's...
There's the break, right? The day break.
It broke the low of the day, 14% down. The good thing, I mean, it'll be SSR tomorrow, so maybe that gives it a bounce, right? Short sell restriction, the uptick rule will be in effect for Open Door, but the rejection of $5 is now complete because it went to 4. That's that prior high. Technically, 387. You might get a dead cap. This is a huge volume move on Open, so you might get some kind of a dead cat bounce here, at least before we get the close. So it's worth watching to see if you can get like a bottoming tail, something along those lines where you could maybe just scalp it back into 420, let's just say. I haven't got a look at the $4 level yet. I would suspect there should be a bit of a bid. It's done 250 million shares of volume here on Open, which, believe it or not, is actually that's relatively low compared to the last few days. Like, we've been doing $500 million on the regular on this stock. So, volume's been decreasing on it. I think you might catch a bid off the $4 level here with Open. Oh, Intel just went back to break even. It just wouldn't give you more than the 10 cents, but if you're risking 5 and it gives you 10, you got to take it in that particular case. Like, the way I see like this kind of a trade, it's binary. You break the trend line, you take the short. Once it hits first support, the stop goes from the prior bar high to the prior support in here, and then that's it. Like, that's the structure of the trade. Like, I'm looking to get out, look for a pullback into the volume-weighted average price with the last piece. Otherwise, break even, so don't make a mess of a stock. Especially when the Nasdaq went red briefly, and this was holding those highs. So it's a trend reversion. You just got to respect the fact that they don't always go all the way. Like, look at Palantir. I actually caught one on Palantir, a couple. It went into VWAP and bye-bye. Like it just got to the volume weighted average price and died. Sometimes it continues, and other times you get that low buy in there and you get what you can get because you're going against the grain. And Palantir might be making a bit of a double bottom here, actually, it looks like. 156. Remember, that's that 50 period on the daily, effectively, that Palantir is bouncing off of. Like, there's your 50 period on the daily. I don't know why that trend line is moving, but if you look at this trend line, it's also on the trend line as well. So this is not a bad spot here on Palantir. I might take a shot at Palantir. It's still 320, so much time to go. When I look up, I still see, it's the same names that are up at the top of the list. Although, did mine update? No. Palantir wasn't number 1 on the stock list. Yeah. Is it? Okay, well, right now it's like, Open, Nvidia, Palantir is actually at number 1 right now for me. But let's see if it can hold this higher low. I want to see this bar close above 156.4, because that's a double bottom on Palantir now. On volume, and the market just bounced off VWAP. So if we can get a close above on this 3-minute, I'd throw the stop at 156.5-ish, maybe a couple of pennies underneath it, and see if we can't get a reversion long on PLTR. Double bottom 156, down 2.5%. The story, I don't think, was that big of a deal for Palantir. The U.S. government talked up potential stakes in a bunch of things. They mentioned defense. Palantir's name was thrown out in there, Lockheed Martin as well. Whether it happens or not, who knows?
All right, man. Here we go again, man. Another 30 cents in the monies for Google. And again, it's just about sticking with your game plan, by the way. We'll take off the Palantir hat. Sticking with the game plan right there on Google. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, man, if we're going to sit here and trade, we might as well do something like this. So we picked on Google again. Strong name. We've been looking at it for a while, and it's continuously working here. So Google, good little look here on an upswing. We just take some out at 207.09. Our most recent buy, I'll just take you to my trade list over here. Most recent buy on it, 81s there. So far, so good for sure on Google. And we'll just continue to watch out, see how high this name can fly. And we're pretty happy with it so far. I'm actually going to put an offer at 15s, see if actually going to go to 13, see if we can get that. Just use the Arca Gateway again and add some liquidity to that space. So tonight, man, we just talked about some of the big earnings. Go find me at Trader TV Sean. We have them posted right here. Thanks to Dara for everything. It's at Trader TV Research. She has some cool graphics up there. 5 below, NTAP, right now. Agilent, there's A. Is that what it is? Yeah, I believe so. So there's Agilent tonight. Bill Holdings right there. So what's up, Bill? There's shout out to the Washington Redskins. CrowdStrike, Commanders. CrowdStrike there. Crowd is tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Definitely loving some CrowdStrike. I think that's going to be, this might be one of the biggest movers there. Greater than Nvidia, I would say, as a percentage-wise.
Nvidia. Implies only 8 on it.
Yeah, 8 versus 6.4, so it's very, very close. Snowflake with an 11.5. That's the one I'm most worried about, but I love CrowdStrike. Let's have a quick look at that. Actually, I heard us all talking about all that before, and I was like, we didn't even...
In the morning we mentioned it, but
yeah,
I don't think we did this. We didn't mention it this afternoon until now.
Okay, we did not. Okay, so CRWD right now. Let's see if it's a crowded space or not. It's
okay if it is.
Yeah, it is, and it's way down. So, potentially picking up some CrowdStrike. Okay. The only time I bought CrowdStrike was during the dog days of CrowdStrike when it absolutely got destroyed. I think must have been in and around, it was in 2024, right, Adara? I think I have to zoom back out a little bit.
It was July 19th, 2024.
Okay, so perfect. So we were, it's easy to look at the chart right there. CrowdStrike had a huge move up. It was at one point considered best of breed again versus Palo Alto. It was a little bit different technology. I'm not sure exactly what the technology is, but it's a different technology than what Palo Alto was working on. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get it. Not lucky enough, it's called sitting on cash, and That's what we're doing. So waiting for opportunities. We recently bought Palo Alto on a miss. That seemed to have worked out just fine. And we're kind of doing the same thing here with with CrowdStrike. So we're able to buy the dip. We did not get out of anything on the way up for this name. Thought it was like in the right space. I still like it. But down at the 200 period moving average, oh boy, you want to talk about a name rather than Nvidia, which Nvidia is all the way up here right now. This name, again, the right space, the right time. I'm into Pan W off of their most recent miss. And if CrowdStrike somehow misses tonight as well, then you're going to be looking in and around this 360, 370 area.
Gobble. If they Fortinet, gobble, gobble.
Yeah, okay, gobble, gobble time there. So some turkey trading happening. But right into there, 370, I think we definitely like that play. And again, I've been talking cybersecurity for a minute. Palo Alto's been, I got to say, shout out to Jim Cramer, honestly. Like, I've had Apple in my account, Nvidia, Palo Alto, Costco, like all of these great companies for probably 20 plus years. And it's been quite a ride to the upside on a lot of these stocks. And we're able to cash out a little bit here and there, pay some bills, things like that, continue to, honestly, and I feel lucky that I was able to do that. Like when I started here, was able to make money almost right away trading and started putting that away, bought my first condo, now own a house, cars, everything, family. And most of that has just been holding on to some of these good companies. So I look to do the same right now. And I think that Nvidia, all these names are very, very similar. So able to do that. And again, day trading has probably the largest failure rate out of any, if you want to call it a profession. But investing, if you can invest properly and continue to make good stock picks, then I think you can win definitely in the long.
You have to be able to hold.
That's what I'm saying, hold, right? Like,
hold the good.
I looked down, I think I showed Fabian, I was like 700% in the money or something on Nvidia or whatever that one time. And it's just like, okay. But anyways, it's just about investing versus day trading. And there's a lot of people looking for those home runs, and investing is not going to be a home run, but statistically, over time, it's that 13 to 14% on the S&P 500. So I've been rolling out of some individual stocks as we look to retire and into indexes. So that's...
I was always, for me, because, and I think it had something to do with the fact that my income was coming from day trading, which is volatile. So I was more conservative, I think, earlier on. Like I was made sure that a certain portion at the beginning, it's like, okay, buy the index. You can like a stock, buy some index too. Buy some index too, just when you take some of those chances. As, that fly, whatever, I've given up on trying to get that fly at this point. Because he's landing on my keyboard. And if I try to kill a fly that lands on my keyboard, it's just, I'm gonna break the keyboard. But Palantir, look at, I put a break-even stop on Palantir. It went 156.5, goes to 157, and then right back on it. Look how quickly this thing is selling off. So right back into that 156. It did break trend briefly, but again, that's why you have a stop. Everybody, make sure you have a stop, because that was cruising, absolutely cruising, and then it comes right back in so quickly. And again, I'm taking my shot one in, and then you know where my stop is going to be. Once it goes to one level, I move the stop from prior bar into the break even, sort of moving it up along with it as we go to the desk with Adair. Only 30 minutes to go to the close.
Yeah.
Take a look here at these implied moves for tonight. I've updated these a little bit since I last sent the document, so some of these are changed by fractions of percents, but no big changes here. Nvidia, 6.5% expected move. Same with HPQ. Snowflake and CrowdStrike are two cybersecurity names on watch at 7.7% and 10.9% respectively expected moves. You can check this out on X at TTV Research and check the earnings out themselves with Neil and myself at 4 p.m. Eastern. We got a wild night for you guys. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara. Yeah, look, we are super excited. Like I was just saying, man, join Neil and Adara at 4 p.m. for all the earnings coming through. Excited for CrowdStrike, excited for all of them coming through. I'm even much more excited now than I was 20 minutes ago before I even realized CrowdStrike was there. That's funny, as I tweeted it out too. But all right, trading over there, trading over here. We're doing good here this afternoon, 3:30 right now with only a half hour left. I'm going to take another piece out here at 12s if we can get it. Iron, we get out of the building. Oh, yesterday we had our monthly, although I don't know, Is it monthly? I guess it is.
It doesn't seem like it's
It doesn't
monthly.
seem like it's monthly. It seems like it's quarterly or something, I feel like. But yesterday was our fire drill test. So we do not have that today. So that was just a little alert there. But yeah, just getting some more out, honestly, of Google. Buy those, buy that. We're trading and we're getting out. When do you know you're a good day trader? I mean, shout out right here. Look, man, I try to be honest with everybody, and there's a lot of people that look down and, you know, they see, sometimes you look at your own P&L with rose-colored glasses, you know, and you say, I can get that back, or I'm on a losing streak, or I didn't sleep well enough last night, I'm gonna get back at it the night before, or night after. But, you know, at the end of the day, you just have to look down at your P&Ls to tell you if you're a good trader or not. And if your P&L is red, that doesn't mean you're a bad trader. It just means that the strategies that you're doing right now, and like I said, I'll be honest, and I'll try to tell you guys when I'm green or red on the day. I'm green today, pretty good. So we're happy with what we're doing. But that's why I try to be honest with you and try to tell you, like, this is what we're doing. And we're sitting here putting on trades, showing you how it's done. But if you're not having success, then just either, I hate telling people to lower their share size. I think it's better just to go into simulation mode, because the way you trade when you have 20 shares, this is for me anyways, and you guys deal with it, and I've seen traders around here come and go, and they all trade small shares and unable to be successful. So it's a matter of understanding that it's a completely different feeling, get out of here, fly, to actually trade to try to make money, or just trade to have fun. And so I think what you have to do is try to separate the two. Get a strategy that you really, really like, and then hit it hard when it's working. And then if you have a couple bad days or a week or a bad month or whatever, at that point you're still going to be live and you're probably lost everything that you've made. Just slow down, and then potentially go completely into paper mode until that strategy starts to work again. And then the key is to understand when it's working quick, because if something's working, right? Like this imbalance that we're talking about for Walgreens tonight, like those IPO trades, they were working for your boy for a long time, right? And so we started upping the amount of shares that we were using on those trades, all right? Because they were working. So now that we've had that kind of success, I could say the next time we have a big IPO trade, maybe I even use more shares than that, you know, because it's been working. But I would not try to chase the dream, because 98% of traders, money gets deposited into Robinhood, never comes out of Robinhood. It goes into Robinhood's pocket or other traders' pockets. So just be careful with all of that and make sure that you keep your expectations realistic, you know, and that's why I think it's important that you try to ask not just us, but fellow traders as well. That's why we have this environment. Are you green? Is Joe green? Is Sharif green? Am I green? Is Neil green? Are we green on the day? What kind of day? Because not every day we're going to be green.
Well, I answered this one in the chat.
Good.
The one thing that in over 20 years has definitely got me through is I don't care what happens on the short term. If you're trying to be successful at something which is a probability game, there is like hundreds of trading days in the year. Hundreds of trading days in the year. What you're doing has to work on a higher time frame. Like, you need to be positive on a month, and then a positive on a quarter, and then positive on a year. If you have 2 or 3 good days, it actually doesn't mean a lot. It's great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But it doesn't actually mean a heck of a lot in terms of expanding your strategy. So I only ever look at that. And that's what's gotten me through. And I've been pretty fortunate. Like I said, consistent on a higher time frame. Make sure, like Sean said, like if things work, you hit those ones hard. Make sure you put the right amount of capital into the things that are the best. But if you have something that's not working on a month-to-month basis, then who cares? Like, you positive every single month out of the year. Then you're a good trader. You know, you could have the greatest month ever, but if you're negative, 10 out of 12 months, and it doesn't really matter. If you're able to, and I've seen a couple of trades, if you're able to then somehow, like that one trade is blows out the 10 months that you lost, that can happen. I've seen it work before, but not in the long term. It doesn't usually work out. So just try to have that idea of trying to build consistency into something, and consistency is different for every other person. Like for some people, it could be a side hustle. You don't have to try to pay your bills with it. So you don't have that kind of pressure, which I think can be a good thing. And then try to just build that consistency and build a bankroll too. That's important. If you don't have a bankroll, when I started out as a trader, I lived at home as long as I could. Straight up. And I didn't care what anybody else was saying because I was saving. I was saving, because I understood that it could all blow up. Who knows? It's trading. Like, it's not going to be easy. So that's just my 2 cents on it for sure. Look, it's about 15 minutes to the imbalances, but we didn't look at the early look. Remember, both Interactive Brokers and Walgreens are Nasdaq stocks. We're not going to get like an early look at what we're expecting to be one buy imbalance and one sell imbalance. Interactive Brokers is going into the S&P 500. We expect that to be a buy. Walgreens Boots Alliance is going to be coming out. I'll just call it WBA from now on. So we expect that to be a sell. Not really much of anything. I'm seeing a bunch of names that I don't. CVE's in there for 3 mil sell, SNQ maybe, Visa 1.2, but no big names here on the early look for the imbalances. AMD broke trend a little bit to the upside here, so it's always the same story on a trend break. In, prior bar out, get to first resistance, move stop to break even. I lied when I said I wouldn't go after the fly again. I swung and missed at that fly. It was on my screen. I'm like, I don't want to punch the screen. I thought I'd be like really quick with a swipe. It didn't work. You got to be able to just hit it. So yeah, into AMD was prior bar stop. Now I'm going for the break even. About 166.8 will be the out, so about 10 cents worth of risk. Looking for it to get back into 167.4. Pre-market high also was a bit of a head and shoulder look there at the 167.4 as well. Nonsense saying CrowdStrike's tanking going into earnings.
Who knows? But right now Google is not, and there it is, another one for you again right here. So yeah, so far so good as we continue to watch out for this mover coming through. There goes Google. Look at that. We just get that fill there at 46s. So that's a decent opportunity there for us on Google. As we look to cash out again. Oh, it's because I had. All right, that actually put me short. I actually had too many shares up there, so we'll punch out, and there it is. That's the end of that trade. Nicely cooking right there on Google. We'll go, as Neil mentioned, right, we're going to go 3 for 4 today and play the strategies the way that you do. And that's it, man. There it is. So out on Google. Right there at VWAP. Lows to highs. We did it, everybody. Right there. So congrats for everybody that's doing that. Right there. Yeah, so there it is. All right, what else? All right, that's Nvidia is the last one that we have on board right now. We're just going to watch out for this. Okay, you know what? It's at these levels. I might as well take a piece out now. Again, good trade. Why not? We'll take an 80 fill there. We get it. Or 79, sorry. So there's a 79 fill at the 200 period. Moving average, and there it goes. So boom goes the dynamite one more time to the upside. So, you're looking for the big winners. Hopefully we'll be able to give you some here today. And we're just going to continue to watch out for this market and what's going on into the close with CrowdStrike, someone said. As you just mentioned, tanking. Yeah, I mean, whatever. This is just a typical move. Yeah, we'd have to wait for that. I mean, look at MongoDB, MDB today. And I just want to say, let's just see what it did yesterday. I guess I'll have to zoom in a lot. We don't want to see that. Yeah, so look at this. So, whoops, there was Mongo yesterday into the close. Very similar. Nice little move from 215 down to 214 there. It was $214 at 347, sorry. So you get a nice move down there in MDB, and then this happens. So I would not necessarily worry too much about, any sort of a temporary move in a CrowdStrike or anything like that. I have a feeling that Tesla's going to have been a bad decision. Yeah. So, you know what? Whatever, man. We'll make money on Google today, Nvidia, Tesla, and then we will lose on Palantir. So 3, 4, 4. And Tesla just broke through there. We could have used that as the bottom again, but once we cracked through, we actually talked about using this 350 as our area because that's where we were long. So in there, good trading to the upside and then out again on TSLA. Great trading, it looks like, during the midday. I know Joe was on some IBIT there today, and it was a nice move higher into $64, and that was a good top there for IBIT. I guess 112,500 or so for a top for IBIT. But yeah, this little level there, 63.40, looks like a good one. See if we can hold out hope that something happens over there. And as Neil had mentioned there, Walgreens today, it's supposed to be a delete, but look what's happening right now. So it might come as a bid on
There's
Nasdaq.
a CVR, that's the thing.
Yeah, so there it goes straight to the upside. So again, if your strategy, and we talked about this, we know a lot of people that make a lot of money off closing trades and things like that, go into it, right? You know, Neil was just talking about making, you know, a lot of money or not losing a lot of money on strategies that have been working. You know, we did months and months worth there on that last IPO, and that's sort of now we can just chill out and buy Christmas presents early. But yeah, so if the closing trade on something like a WBA or something you've been looking at has been a profitable one for you in the past, then today's a great day to do that because 120 million shares, I'm sure it's going to be good, Neil.
I'm sure it's going to be good. I would say this, though. Like, I've traded
people will
them
print
before.
a lot.
Some people probably will print a lot, but this is not one
lot.
that's been historically fantastic because of that CVR. Like, you're getting, it's $11.45 in cash and the rights to a $3 in cash per WBA share, a divested asset proceed right. So when you have a factor like that in the deal that makes it not an all cash deal, there's a subjectivity to what it's worth, then you can have some hedges taking other side here because there's actually, like, there's something that can have it go higher. Like before, if it was just $11.45 cash and it was at $11.44, you'd short the living you-know-what out of it in the low 40s and be like, as long as it prints down. But this is a little bit different than that. So look, for me, it's not, like, if it comes out huge, it comes out huge. But it's not one of those, it's as automatic as before. I've seen traders get absolutely rinsed on the ones that have CVRs as well. And just throwing that out there, everyone can do what they want. I've traded a lot of buyouts over the years. AMD broke the trend to the upside, so that was it breaking trend down. We got in, it then broke this trend and came right back into break even. So quick little scalp trade on AMD. Went about 30 pennies for me there, but it went 40 pennies. I got 30 out of it on that quick little move for sure. So 7 minutes to go till the imbalances come in, everybody. And let's be real. I know the top of the list on our stock visualizer still says Palantir. It does. But NVIDIA earnings in about 40 minutes, everybody. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Everybody lock in, be loaded, be ready. We're going to go over all the earnings names. It's not just them. We talked about this. CrowdStrike is going to be reporting. That's a big one. Snowflake as well. That should be a big mover. Five Below. That's another name that should move in here. And I'm expecting that we'll be able to give you all the goods as quickly as possible because if there is a machine, we'll give you live action as to what is happening in real time on all of those names as they come through in addition to the numbers. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask them. It's just us in the earnings tonight. We don't have a guest. We're just going to be talking shop. We're just going to be looking at the move. We're just going to be looking at the numbers and answering your questions and going over all the names in real time. And speaking of names, it's been a hot minute since I saw Fubo TV. Not true. I was whining and complaining about this stock the other day because of a show that I want to watch, I can only watch on Fubo TV that I don't have. This stock stinks. No, I'm kidding. I have nothing against them. I just don't like it when I pay for like a million different streaming services and can't watch something. It always seems to bug me. It's like I have everything and I can't watch that Stephen King show. It's ridiculous. Unless I cheat. I get it. I could do whatever it is people are using to pirate these days, which I don't. Because my brother's in the TV industry, so I've never been someone that likes to pirate. But Fubo, that's a stock that I think is halfway broken, but not completely, because it's holding on to the 200 period. I just saw someone throw it in the chat. When I say halfway broken, I don't like anything that has a channel that it breaks, right? Like, see that channel that it's in? Well, it broke the bottom end of that channel. It still got support at the 200 period moving average, but now it's underneath that channel and it kind of rejected going back above recently. So it's halfway broken on Fubo, fully broken if it loses $3 or $2 and, no, it's $3. Fully broken if it loses $3. Just zoom in there and you can find it. So we'll see what happens with Fubo TV.
All right, oh boy. The mistake that we got out of everything there on VWAP is not great because there it goes, man. It is now. Nice trade there if anybody has it. And let's take this opportunity right now to go find out who's actually, as we talk about, making some money around these joints right now. So shout out to everybody trading with us here at Real Trading. These are the top traders from yesterday. So a little bit of a different look there because we have Amex, Canada, Nasdaq, and New York yesterday. So that's the #1 trader. These are the markets that they traded in, and this is the US dollar denominated number there. So it's also going through the different markets. So Canada, we don't have any year. Oh, we do have. I was going to say, okay. Here's somebody that traded a bunch of year up there. So someone, we have offices located all over the world. I've traveled all over the world opening up offices for Real Trading. That's what I was I wasn't traveling before this, but I was the head of Trader Floor Development, and we actually created that division of Real Trading, and that's just because I like to talk, and some people think I know what I'm doing, but I don't know, I kind of fooled those people. But Zitra, Switzerland, Stockholm, Paris, Milan, Madrid, so there it is right there, Amex and NASDAQ, so not a huge number from yesterday, but still, congratulations to anybody that made this board. I mean, $2,500 is great, especially if you can somehow average that. That would be real nice right there. Okay, so there goes Google. Again, big congratulations to anybody that sort of followed the lead on that one and was able to buy those dips on Google. There it goes. Still, I honestly, that's why it's purple. I put out too many shares and it just ripped higher because I had some offers up here. So it was thinking that, oh, you don't have enough shares, you're going to try to short sell this thing. But it just covered all of my shares and actually put me short, which we had to cover immediately, which is why we have that green there. But again, boom, 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 upside right there. So hopefully some of you can have some of that success right there. We only have 4 minutes now until the imbalance. Let's go have a quick look at how awesome crypto is doing for y'all today. Bitcoin right here in the last 7 days down 1.3%. Ethereum today in the last 24 hours. It looks like Bitcoin may be the leader, but no, it's Solana right there. I thought I was in a Solana amount of trouble when I bought that at 200. It went down to 180, but right now 3.5% in the money and not selling it, so it doesn't matter. But there's Solana right there, up 5.5% today and up 12 on the week. The other name that I have probably too much of is Cardano, so we'd like to see those numbers green, not red. And then recent XRP Army, not recent, but it was one of the last ones I wound up buying there, Ripple. So we'll see if that can go. And then Ethereum, man, I cashed out of that. It was 2,500, something like that, out of all the coins that I had, still hold it in trust. But that was where we wound up buying. I don't think we bought Bitcoin. We must have bought XRP. And then we talked about our recent there with Solana. So it looks like crypto names still continue to work. And then, you know, if you want to get rugged a little bit, you can go to BMNR and look at that if you want. Down $45. Again, down 8%. So there we go again right now. I wonder when you're going to find out that Tom Lee sold everything on this. Probably won't tell you until much later. So wait for the 13Fs and whatnot on that. But you know, follow those guys to your demise. Nice move there to the upside. And then right now, I don't even really want to technically look at this because it's probably a disaster waiting to happen. So BMNR, just waiting to figure that stock out. And then MSTR, which I think, you know, this one's pretty obvious where they've stated how many millions of Bitcoin they have, and it continues to sort of follow out to see what crypto is wound up doing. And you get from that 460 down to 340. So that's dropped a lot more than Bitcoin has as well. So Bitcoin's only now down about 15% or so from its highs. This name down much more than that. So again, do the due diligence that's out there. People that are supporting BMNR and MSTR, obviously you know what's going on in your own game plan. So I would just say be careful with that. I'm buying just the IBITs of the world and things like that, just to be able to protect against.
Being the ETF.
Yeah, just
or just being the actual. We just hold Bitcoin or ETH. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, either hold the coin.
Yeah, you could literally you can hold ETH on your own and stake it yourself.
Yes. You can do all of that.
It is what it is. I find like that's the easy path. The path of least resistance is just when you can own an asset, just own the asset. And if you can get a yield on it without having to worry about it being in some other thing that can get rugged. And don't get me wrong, ETH can go down 50% from here.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it can't. It's just that why would I need to be in something else?
So I would. You have to make sure that you are planning. Okay, here we go. It's only a couple minutes until he bounces. Okay, so here we go. So Walgreens must be a huge sell as expected.
112
right there, as we had said. I told you Walgreens was coming as a sell.
IBKR is the wrong way.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's the move down, huge right now for Walgreens. I don't think I have shortable shares, or else I would just be punching this. But here we go. Nicely.
You don't need, it's free.
Oh, you don't need shorts?
It's free.
Oh, okay, so that's perfect. So let's see if we can get some shares here on WBA, and we'll see. Oh, no, it's still going down lower. All right, so we'll take a little bit here. We're short at 99s now. We'll see if we can get some 97s or 98s coming through on Walgreens. I'm actually bidding 97s here. Let's see if we get them. And bang, there it is right there. So we'll already take a winning trade there on Walgreens, as it's already paired out of about half. So we go, what did I get, O's or did I get 99s? So we right there, we got 99s on it, out 97s there for IBK. So quick money being made on this side.
Yeah, VWAPs, I got ones in a 97, but I swung and missed at 05.
Ooh.
I swung and missed at 05 big. It was a huge miss. That sucks.
All right.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, why not? Just leave it at that. Yeah.
It sucks. There wasn't a lot. The thing about that trade, 112 million shares to the sell side, the algos destroy the bid on. I mean, they destroy the bid on that.
Yeah, I think I could have got 8s, but I was uncertain because I was like, I don't have shortable shares because I was watching and it was dancing like that, and then
I only knew because I was short earlier.
Yeah. So, but again, there it is right there, right? Like we said, I told you, man, people will make. So now it's already done. Like there's going to be people that made tens of thousands of dollars on that move for sure. So as we had kept on mentioning to you, understand what you're doing. And if you did have an opportunity to take that trade, congratulations. What a move there for Walgreens. And again, we trade the amount of shares that I would have been able to take there would have been monstrous. And but anyways, we don't talk about share size. But there it goes right now as we're on a prop floor. So good trading there, man. 99s to 97s. We'll take it there. A quick 2 pennies on WBA. Now 40 million. So that means if you're looking at this, I don't know. I know Neil and I both know what it means, but it's starting to pair off.
It's already at 40.
Right.
It's paired off. 70 million shares is already paired off in 2 minutes. And
I think it's because they're ready for it.
Oh, 100% they're ready for it. And remember, like I said, there's this like CVR thing that they got going. It's like a contingent value right, meaning it's possibly worth more than $11.45. Obviously, it's trading above the cash price here. So I don't know. This might not be a closed trade on the Nasdaq. You can find out. It matters at 355 essentially if it's still a buy,
right?
Because that's when you would have to lock in if you're going to take the auction. I'm going to sneeze in a second. Don't.
So based on what I've seen right here, I would not. Take
no, it's already paired,
but it's already. I still think it's going to print significantly lower. But you have to take that risk. Like it could. So the thing is that you could start getting short here at 12.01, and then it rips up, and the next thing you know, it's 12.05, and then you need a 5-cent print even to make some money. So we'll see what winds up happening there. And IBKR, of course, comes out, and we're expecting that to be a buy because again, IBKR going into the index, and oops, there it is right there. IBKR going into the index, and WBA coming out. Lucid. Maybe Derek can find this information out for us. We don't have too much time left. I think it's coming up, right? Yeah, I was going to. That's what I was thinking. So there's. Yeah, she's going to look it up. So Lucid, I could just Google it myself, but Lucid right here with the reverse split coming tomorrow or sometime, which maybe is why it's. Yes.
Effective 29th of August, so Friday.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually going to say 29th there.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I should have.
It's back to 80 million.
Just said that. No, it's not. 39 million.
I swear I just saw 80 for a second.
It could be. 355 is coming. Sorry, 355. Yeah, it's coming up right now.
I would swear.
So, all right. Nice little drop down for Nvidia. I'm going to get out of some of Nvidia here at 42 again. It's been a good trade for us, but we can watch Walgreens to see what winds up happening. Let's go to Neil now, and then we'll keep our eye on Walgreens.
Absolutely, everybody. And something new at Trade the Pool for everyone out there, and that's going to be a free ebook featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage risk, and what setups they use and rely on, so you can learn and grow from what actually works. Download it now by scanning the QR code on the screen or checking the link in the description. Shout out to Trade the Pool. Thank you to Mitch
That
as
QR
well.
code.
They're going to be coming.
There, yeah, it's back to 86 million again. So the short is going to
play. And then
play.
I looked over, it is going to play.
The short.
I got back in small, but whatever. I'll just throw it into the auction.
Yeah.
I kind of already have. To me, like the big trade was up here to try to hit the bid as it was breaking down. That's the big trade on WBA here. That was your opportunity. IBKR must have flipped, right? Because it just...
Yeah, I don't see it. So
I don't see it. It just shot up a little bit here.
It's all about WBA.
Yeah, WBA is much bigger, but Interactive Brokers is going into the index. Yeah, I mean, small move to the upside, not bad. I mean, it moved. There you go. But the big name, of course, after the bell, Nvidia earnings, Snowflake earnings, CrowdStrike earnings. I probably should be saying CrowdStrike after Nvidia if we're talking about impact, right? CrowdStrike has more impact than Snowflake. I just think Snow might move more.
Yep.
We'll find out if that ends up being true. But certainly the big one is Nvidia, and there's a lot at stake here. You could own CoreWeave, you could own Broadcom, you could own AMD.
AMD, yeah.
The point
Marvell.
is that Marvell. The point is that you care.
Marvell.
You care tonight, and that's you're going to be tuning in. Darren and I will be on the desk. We'll be locked and loaded for you. We're ready to go. It's always exciting for Nvidia earnings, one way or another, right? We want it to go up, but we're here for it no matter what happens.
Yes, we are. I might as well just get out of another piece here as it's just a nice move up right here on NVIDIA, so we'll take advantage. Oh, no, we did not. Okay, I'm just going to get out of them all. Nope, give me some 65s. There it is. So we're now out of that one. Clear it off. It is going to be my number one trade today, is going to be NVIDIA, and we only had it really early. And again, patience plays again on NVIDIA there today. Pays, not plays, and plays. Actually.
Well, it does play, too.
Yeah, it plays okay. Kid and play. So there it is, nice little move there for NVIDIA. Neil, you should get one of those kid and play haircuts. You get like a little high top, I know. You should go back.
Look, I can't do that anymore.
No, it stops growing up top like me.
Well, I mean, I could. I'm sure if I went to Turkey, I could make it happen again, but I'm not doing that.
Some people have.
I had the cameo.
For sure, yeah, man. You can get to Turkey, or you can just get it here.
My brother still has. My brother can still rock the cameo. He does it all the time.
Yeah, you get that done around here now. Okay, so
apparently it's like
it's about half the price or so of it, I guess. I don't know, but all right, get over there.
I got to make sure
set it up. Yeah, good day today. Hopefully you'll have you will have a great recap show, and everybody will be joining you, Neil. So get ready for that in just a couple minutes. Oh, I did want to see WBA, of course. So let me just call that up so everybody can see the action on this guy near the end of the day. So yeah, man, it's WBA time. It's their world. We're all living in it. So let's see right here. Now down only to 11 million shares right now for Mr. Boots Alliance as we get going. So just be careful on this trade. We'll watch it together. 169 million. That means that it's going to more than double the volume here on that print. So it's going to be at least 171 million shares on Walgreen Boots Alliance with only 2 minutes to go. So it should be a fun one as we sit here and watch what's going to happen for this. I think the fact that there's only 11 million left means they've got the pair. So it's virtually paired off right now. So it's already done. I feel like it's going to print in this area now. They've probably got a nice easy price to go with. So yeah, probably 12. Is where Walgreens will wind up printing, and don't hold me to that. That is simply a guess, but it's coming out now in just 20 seconds. So again, a big shout out to everybody. Join us late. If you're here, stay late. 4:30 is when that recap show will end. The countdown is now on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe with only 8 seconds left until earning bonanza time. 4, 3, 2, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. There's still 359 right now. I should be trading more. Okay, so here we go. We're still a little bit early on that one, so we have 1 minute left. So watch out for this paired activity. So it is starting to go a little bit lower right now on that close. NVIDIA here, Walgreens might not do anything. Here's NVIDIA right here, just dancing around. We did pretty good to get out. That's something we could look at what CrowdStrike is doing here in the last couple seconds, not doing too much. Bill coming through. What's up, Bill Holdings here? Bill Nyes. the science guy. Nice move there for Bill coming through as well. MongoDB, a big name that a lot of you may or may not have, going out near the high of the day. Okay, it's NVIDIA's world. It's also WBA's world. So now we'll hit the countdown with now. What are you doing now with 10 seconds left? There it is. So there's WBA. We're going to see where this thing winds up printing now. The size for WBA is basically gone. 3, 2, and 1. So we'll get that going now. See where we print on Walgreens Boots Alliance. I don't even know if it's out yet, but it looks like maybe it is. A whole bunch of O2s going. We'll see where that, I won't be able to find the print, but there it goes. So right in line there for Walgreens. So congratulations to everybody. This close is brought to you by VinFast, ticker VFS. Thank you for them to sponsor our show. All right, thanks, Ramin. Great day over there. Thanks, Fabian, Andre, and everybody. Thanks to Darren, Neil, Sharif, Joe, and Brendo. For me, I'm Sean. We'll be back here, hopefully kicking it with you tomorrow and putting on some more trades. Get ready for a closing show. Ciao for now.
Thank you, Sean. The Market Recap Show starts now, brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex, and it is the NVIDIA watch party at 4:20. We're expecting earnings from the biggest and baddest and most important stock in the entire world. That is, of course, NVIDIA. We'll also have CrowdStrike. That's a little bit later. 5 should be coming out any second now, NTAP as well. We'll be looking for Bill, Snowflake, HPQ. It's a decent list, but everything is hinging on NVIDIA. Decent recovery after it sold in the morning pretty heavily into about 10 o'clock and then recovering to get almost green. Basically flat on the day here for NVIDIA, but it's so close to those highs in the 180s that you knew there'd be some sellers because everything has to be perfect, that we've said. Dara, the slightest misstep and you could see them punished a little bit when you're at these all-time highs.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. We have some numbers out already. Yeah. I'm just not really seeing things compared to estimates. I have my own estimates that I take down, but sometimes those are not, the same as what we actually see for what the market runs with. Regardless, I can talk about Bill Holdings. They reported fiscal 2025 revenue, $1.5 billion, up 13% year over year. Their core revenue for the year grew 16% year over year. Q4 total revenue up 12% year over year. Q4 core revenue up 15% year over year. Again, as I have estimates, I'll get those to you guys as well, or I guess how things compare to estimates. Bill Holdings, so Bill Holdings was a double beat. I'll just get those numbers for you guys. Q4 adjusted earnings at 53 cents per share versus 41 expected. Sales $383.349 million versus $376.172 million. Now I know, guys, everyone wants Nvidia. Fortunately, they are not out yet, or unfortunately, sorry. So I'll just give you guys what I have while I have it. Nvidia's already moving. It's
already moving here a little bit. The earnings aren't out.
Yeah.
But Nvidia's doing volume already. It just made like a 50-penny move off the low, so it is bouncing here in the aftermarket in real time. Just got to 182.20, going in the other direction from Bill because Bill's getting absolutely smoked, as you just saw.
Yeah, I mean, 5 below I can talk about here too. Q2 earnings of 77 cents per share. Not seeing how that compares to estimates. Revenue looks like a beat, 1.03 billion. I'm seeing estimates of 992.7 million. What else are we seeing here? Yeah, they beat here on pre-tax profit. It looks like. They're guiding Q3 earnings per share between 9 cents and 21 cents. Their net income, they're guiding between 5 million and 12 million for the year. Again, not seeing how all these compare to estimates, but it does look like 5 below beat on pre-tax profit and on revenue.
52-week highs.
Yeah, nice look there for 5 below. NTAP, I have some of the numbers, but I'm not really seeing how things compare to estimates. Their billings grew by 4% year over year. That is a pretty small growth amount, but apparently that's their 7th consecutive quarter of year-over-year growth. They recorded, their first quarter free cash growth. That's free cash flow for the quarter for NTAP. Not seeing too much here for NetApp, but 5 below. We did have a double beat there. I said I wasn't quite sure how things compared to estimates. There's a double beat, 5 below. Adjusted earnings of 81 cents versus 61 expected.
Maybe wait for the
and I already mentioned the sales beat.
Yeah, the guidance, I think, we'll see if we get guidance from 5.
I don't have guidance yet.
Yeah,
I Bill Holdings
with that out, with guidance not out yet on 5, I'd hold off. It's holding the 52-week high, but just barely above it. So it's not exactly blowing the move away. But someone just said in the chat, call Tarantino because they killed Bill.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a pretty good one. I like that joke. Let's get into these guidance numbers, because I think the guidance might be the issue here, specifically their quarterly guidance. They're getting Q1 2026 earnings between 49 cents and 52 cents per share, the entire range. Misses estimates of 54 cents. Sales, 385 to 395 million. They're guiding that is mostly below estimates of 394. The midpoint certainly misses estimates. Their fiscal 2026 guidance, though, is kind of mixed. I mean, their Q2, or sorry, not their Q2, their fiscal 2026 EPS guidance is certainly in line. $2 to $2.20 versus $2.08 expected, so midpoint in line. Their sales guidance is better than expected, though, for the fiscal year. 1.589 bill to 1.629 bill versus 1.455 bill expected. None of these billions are good enough for Bill. Looks like we've got a whole bunch more that just came out here, Neil, so I will take a look, and I will let you guys know. People asking when NVIDIA reports, they report at 4:20. So
Snowflake is out, and Snowflake is ripping to the upside. Snowflake just hit 214. We could see this break. Well, let's cross our fingers here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We've got a big resistance level at 215. You can see on the daily chart of Snowflake, and it's already through the 50 period on the moving average as Snowflake is out. I haven't seen the actual numbers yet here at Dara, but we were expecting 12%. 11.5% for the implied move. So even with this move, we're only up 10% here as the numbers are now out. What do we have here? Very, very close. It keeps resisting this 220.
Yeah, let's talk about these numbers here for SNOW. 1.09 billion in product revenue. Sometimes the product revenue and the actual revenue numbers don't compare, so I'm not going to say estimates until I know for sure. 32% year-over-year growth. Net revenue retention rate 125%. That's a great number there. Apparently 33% year-over-year growth when it comes to remaining performance obligations. HPQ is out early here, Neil. HPQ Q3 earnings per share in line with estimates at 75 cents. Revenue beating estimates, it looks like 13.93 billion versus 13.7 billion expected. They're guiding midpoint Q4 earnings per share. Free cash flow, they're guiding 2.6 billion to 3 billion. They did note some trade-related costs, though, for HPQ. If you're enjoying the content and you're ready for these NVIDIA earnings, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and thank you to our friends at Beta Pro, brought to you by GlobalX. And I am waiting for some more numbers here from the likes of CrowdStrike. Yeah, again, like HP, their earnings per share guidance is in line. I just saw that now, and I wanted to mention that again. What else do I have? Yeah, 5 below, pretty solid guidance here, I will say. Agilent I have. Let's get into A. Let's see if this was an A1 report. I'll start with their guidance. Okay, they narrowed their fiscal 2025 guidance. They tightened it on both ends. It's basically in line with estimates for EPS. Sales guidance, they actually raised. That's above estimates. Let's talk here. Do I have their actual numbers, though? Yes, I do for Agilent. So Agilent, again, we talked about their guidance. Let's talk here about their earnings. In-line earnings per share of 137. Sales beating estimates 1.738 billion versus 1.665 billion expected. Snowflake.
Just one thing on Snowflake here. With the double beat on Snowflake, it just hit 225. They reported that they have a metric of clients and customers over the 1 million mark for revenue. That increased 30% year over year. So that's some good growth in their upper sector for clientele. And it did break 220. You're firmly headed. I don't want to jinx it, but it got about $5 away from the 52-week high in Snowflake, that $230 level. Snowflake holding up. The numbers are fantastic. Some of the growth metrics looking pretty good, especially with individual customers there. 32% year over year growth. That'll play. And they need growth, because it's not a company that has overwhelming profitability over any kind of time period. So let's be real. That's what matters here. We are expecting about 10 minutes we're going to get NVIDIA earnings. They did move around a little bit. I know everyone's sitting here like, when do we get NVIDIA? Holding on with bated breath. It is moving around a little bit, not a heck of a lot. It's up like maybe 0.5% here in the aftermarket. But we have to have some patience. You save the best for last. So far, so good on Snowflake. Unless you have shares of Bill, you're probably not too happy about that. But already NVIDIA is starting to catch some buys. The volume on this, the fact that 10 minutes in front of earnings, you're already seeing solid volume in trading through, gives you an idea. Like a lot of times it's like you're watching paint dry on an individual name before they report. Who would want to be executing trade? With NVIDIA, there's already a lot of trepidation. I guess maybe some posturing going in before this crucial print. I'm going to be watching. We're going to get top and bottom, obviously, and we care about the guys. Look for that margin number. Right, we're expecting 75 to 78% gross margins. That comes in the low 70s. I think you're in a bit of trouble. So if I don't hear that number, I'm not thinking anything about the earnings until we get that margin number, Adara.
Yeah, I know margin killed Nvidia before, like they missed by the tiniest metric, and that's what matters, I guess. Let's talk here about Snowflake, because they did actually have that double beat Q2 adjusted earnings of 35 cents per share versus what 27 cents expected. Sales 1.144 billion versus 1.088 billion expected. I do apologize for the speed to the people in the chat, but this is how I talk, and I do find the faster I talk, the easier it is for me to get things out and get this info for you guys. The market does talk fast. I'm a little bit more tired as well, so I'm trying to stay alert in that way too. Let's talk about CrowdStrike. I don't have the numbers yet. Do I feel okay? I just got the numbers now. They did also agree to buy Onum to supercharge Falcon. Okay, so they're buying this company called Onum to supercharge their next gen. That's what it was.
This is sort of the thing. You're going to get punished if you buy somebody, but sometimes you report a deal when the earnings come out. So the initial move is to the downside on CrowdStrike until I hear the terms of whatever this deal is. Let's just give it a minute, because it immediately flushed 420 into 400 and is trying to catch a bit of a bid here. Now CrowdStrike has been under trouble, but holding on at least to this 200 period moving average. So yeah, like I said, you're usually going to get punished when you make an acquisition. But remember Fortinet. Fortinet was down monstrous after its earnings, and it was a fantastic buying opportunity. That's just how this space has been going for sure. So right now, you do have CrowdStrike hitting lower, 4% to the downside here on CrowdStrike. I still haven't seen any details on whatever this deal might be here at Darrow, but that's going to be the most important thing. How much are they spending? What kind of synergies can you expect on any deal that they make? This is a segment of the market where you're starting to see some consolidations. You're starting to see the big boys make some acquisitions. Whether it's Palo Alto, it doesn't matter. CrowdStrike here, they're making a power move as well. So you tend for at least 2 or 3 days. Sometimes you will see an acquiring company get hurt a little bit here. So 10 minutes to go till Nvidia and CrowdStrike, in the L column, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, their Q3 revenue guide here is basically exactly in line, $1.21 billion to $1.22 billion they're seeing. That is compared to estimates of $1.23 billion. So to call that a beat would I think that is actually a total miss. 1.21 to 1.22 billion. We were looking for 1.23 billion. So it's like a slight miss, but it's still kind of in line with estimates. It's nothing insane. I'll read through their numbers here. So revenue 1.17 billion. I was seeing estimates of 1.15 billion, so it looks like a slight beat. It is up 21% year over year, and their subscription revenue up 20% year over year. Annual recurring revenue up 20% year over year. Subscription gross margin tightened a little bit, Neil, 77% versus 78% on a year over year basis. So slightly tighter subscription gross margin here for CrowdStrike. I have not seen anything that would strike me with a lot of enthusiasm or excitement to buy, but I love day trading this. I've talked a lot about how CrowdStrike earnings day one is like one of my highest probability trades. So this is something I'm going to be watching. Personally speaking, when I get more numbers from CrowdStrike, I'll let you guys know, but I don't have the synopsis yet from Benzinga, so I'm literally like scouring through the report.
The company that it's Onum that they're supposedly buying. Is it Onum Group or On? I think it might be Onum Group.
Onum, real-time data intelligence, I think.
If it's the company I think that's an $11 billion company. So that's not a small, you slap a premium on that wouldn't be chump change. That could be like $14, $15 billion that they could be spending potentially. And that could be a lot of the reason why you're seeing it beaten up. Down 8% here now is CrowdStrike. And like I said, you give it a breath. It didn't sound all that bad, but anytime you hear about an acquisition, you want to see those details. Yeah, unfortunately, not a good one. I mean, we have Nvidia coming up. For those that are asking, 420 is the expected time on Nvidia. Now, I believe HPQ came out early.
Yeah, I went over those ones. Yeah,
you went over them. So I'm not saying that Nvidia it'll be right at 420. It could be 422. It could be 415. It could happen a minute from now.
It's usually 420. I find Nvidia
but they're usually pretty good. It's not like Meta.
Yeah.
This will not be a Meta situation. We're waiting around for Zuckerberg to figure it out. And next thing you know, we're doing the market recap to like 445 because we got to make sure we get the Meta earnings. That being said, we're not going anywhere until we get Nvidia earnings. All right? We're not going to have to sleep here. If Nvidia doesn't report on time, people will probably start freaking out. So I know they're going to get this one right and they'll get it on time. We're expecting that 420. But CrowdStrike, I don't love it. I don't love it.
I have more on Crowd, and I'll also talk about NetApp too, because I mentioned it earlier, but Gravel Culture asking about NetApp, so I'll get back into that. CRWD was a double beat. Q2 adjusted earnings 93 cents per share versus 83 cents expected. As I mentioned, they like really towed the line here when it comes to their sales, because they reported sales of $1.169 billion versus estimates of $1.149 billion. So it's a beat, but like it's still pretty tight, right? It's cutting it pretty close. CrowdStrike for guidance, though, was not a beat for revenue, 1.2 to 1.22 billion. Analysts were looking for 1.23 billion. Do you have Nvidia?
No, it's not out yet. It's not out yet, but believe me, everybody, we're locked and loaded. I'm watching some interesting price action. Here's the thing, we're live with this for you. Like, it's not about, I got live action here. We'll see it. If it comes out early, I'm gonna see the price action almost instantaneously, everybody. So you're in the right spot. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you have questions in the chat for us here, something particular you want to know about the earnings or our thoughts on something, you've got to hit the subscribe. It's a subs-only chat. So you want to be in there asking questions, engaging with our community on this monstrous day here, of course, because we're expecting big things from NVIDIA. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. You're in the right place for sure. NVIDIA still continuing to churn through volume as it tries to take out what was a top here, temporary top here at 182.5. And remember, I'm looking at that margin number. I mean, we'll be top, bottom. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. I want to see a good margin. If it's in the 80s, it's game over. If it's in the low 70s, I think we could be in a little bit of trouble here. CrowdStrike is catching a bit of a bid. Little bit of a bid here. 410 you like?
No, 410 has been a level in Crowd.
Okay, well, it can't even hold. It can't even break back above 400.
Okay.
So they're really punishing it. They're really punishing the stock right now, and it could just be they don't care about the top and bottom. They care about an expensive acquisition that's getting made, and when that can mean temporarily. This is something that's already pulled back 20% from the highs. Is at the 200-period moving average. So I feel like this could be a nice little dip buy opportunity tomorrow, but that's a tomorrow play. Right? Today we have 3 minutes till NVIDIA. We do have Snowflake, which thankfully that one, let it snow. This one was not an informer. This one was legit.
Whew.
Yes. I was watching, YouTube recommended some weird stuff on the weekend, including like Snow being interviewed by Arsenio Hall. Which,
wait, what?
When I was a kid, I remember watching that, and Arsenio didn't come off too well.
Really?
Yeah, I watched it back. And
really?
Like, Arsenio did not come off too well in the interview.
He didn't like Snow?
No, there was some stuff that was just like, and whatever. And the guy was controversial, but like, it wasn't very cool when I look back at it. And I think back in the day, you give him a pass because he was cool, but no, it wasn't. He kind of didn't treat him that well when you look back at it. But Snowflake, 220, I think 228 would be that high. 228 high is half is the high, and it's close. It got close. It did not break the 52-week high. So Snowflake goes right to the 52-week high. Now keep in mind, it's exceeded the expected move here with Snowflake. 11.5 expected, it's done 13. So I come in with a bias tomorrow to the long side if it can hold on to above that 11.5% mark. So, a good look here for Snowflake. I love that growth that they had. Just looking at 32% revenue growth, but also looking at the individual large customers over $1 million in revenue, that grew by 30% as well, right? So it's like they're growing it in the right places. This is a growth name. It's not necessarily the EPS. To me, it doesn't really matter about it for a stock like this. You just want to continue to see big double-digit growth so that they can grow into what is a pretty robust and large pie. And the biggest pie out there is the AI pie. And we're going to see in about a minute or two what NVIDIA has to say about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty exciting report. Like we said, I find NVIDIA and Apple to be the most timely of these companies when it comes to reporting earnings.
Yep.
CrowdStrike, it's worth noting, it's actually running into another trend line I have. I just checked my chart and I was like, oh, another trend line. So yeah, CrowdStrike, I find these spready tickers tend to respect, for whatever reason, like horizontal trend levels a lot more than other things. And CrowdStrike is doing that. So interesting stuff there. NTAP, though, I want to go over for gravel culture. This is a narrow beat on both metrics. So they like barely beat adjusted earnings per share, 155 versus 154 expected. Sales 1.56 bill versus 1.55 bill expected. So these are like, you can call them beats if you're being generous. It's basically in line. It's a little bit of a mixed report for NetApp, but they did tap that 102.50 level and bounce a bit. This is a hard one to make puns at without it getting a little wild. But I think that's a good point there. People are talking about Crowd as well. The guidance for Crowd was mixed across the board. So specifically when it comes to revenue, so their revenue, their midpoint for their revenue guide for the fiscal year actually did miss estimates, and then they also totally missed estimates for their quarterly guide. Issue with crowd is forward guidance and potentially as well the risk that people are associating with their acquisition. 398, I don't think crowd even cares about 400. Crowd seems to care about 398, and to a degree that I'm going to be watching this tomorrow. 100%.
Well, it's got to be on radar. And of course, Snowflake will be on radar, but we have seconds to go until I think we get NVIDIA. Someone already getting a little bit antsy because I just saw someone swiped it down like 50 pennies. It just came right back in here at the top end of the range on NVIDIA, but we're expecting 420. It is about to hit 420 right now. It's still in a range-bound trade, obviously. Oh, come on. Let's see what that first move. The first move, it's inching up. It's not flying, it's inching. This is not convincing yet. Like you said, you're still inching, like 20, 30 pennies. What's going on here? That's not, volume is definitely coming in pretty decently here on NVIDIA, but we're not flying, we're not tanking. What is going on? You should be, if the numbers are out, it should be doing much more than just kind of really, really slowly grinding. This is an absolute grind. It's up. It just moved almost $1 in a slow grind up. That is not how you see this thing move. Let's get going, NVIDIA. You've got that 184 resistance you got to punch through, and then 185 psychologically as well. And if you're doing this slow, that's a disappointment. You need a rocket ship to get through levels like this when you're in a company this big here at Dara. I don't see the numbers even out yet.
Either.
And here we go. Now they're out for sure.
They're out. I got
because it just absolutely smoked it to the downside here. Is NVIDIA numbers at Dara get them, but we're just tanked $5.
So they got them. Again, I don't want to compare to estimates yet, so I'll just read you guys the numbers. 46.7 bill was their revenue, up 6% quarter over quarter, 56% year over year. So NVIDIA revenue up 56% year over year. 46.7 billion. That is above estimates I was seeing. Data center revenue up 56% as well year over year, 41.1 billion. So again, the revenue was up 6% sequentially. Data center revenue up 5% sequentially, both up 56% year over year. Blackwell data center revenue up 17% sequentially. It makes sense they don't have year over year for that yet, but they did beat, it looks like on both metrics, earnings of $1.05 per share, beating estimates of $1.01. Revenue, 46.7 billion versus I was seeing anywhere from 45 to 46 billion. So I'm not going to specify what those numbers are yet. Most people are saying that they did beat estimates. So here's the official Benzinga numbers. And we'll go with those. Adjusted
72.7, 72.7% gross margin.
Oh, that was the
Street wanted 75 to 78. The gross margin comes in low 70%, and NVIDIA gets smacked. 5% to the downside here. You knew it was going to be the gross margin number. If it was going to be anything, it was going to be that. That being said, oh my God, we're literally complaining about 72% gross margin? 72% gross margin. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh man, I'm just saying, if that's what sucks, it ain't all bad. It ain't all bad, but at the end of the day, you're at the highs, you're the biggest company in the world, and it had to be perfect. We said it had to be perfect. Thankfully, it's still underneath the expected move, because if we're down, the implied move was 6.5%. If we're down more than 6.5%, I think you'd be in a little bit more trouble, because my first thought was with that number, I thought if it came in the low 70s, we could be at least pushing double digits down, and we're not. We're down 4% here. And we actually resisted that move, the expected move of 6.5%. So maybe not all that bad over there in NVIDIA. And I know for anyone that maybe you're looking at some sympathy plays, obviously AMD down as well, 2.5%. The SMH is going to be down. NVIDIA is like 20% of the SMH, 10% of the Nasdaq, 8% of the S&P 500. Broadcom I'd expect to be down a little bit here. As well. So a lot of things are going to be down on sympathy. There's Broadcom down 1 point here. AMD probably on sympathy taking it the worst, let's just say. Marvell reports tomorrow night. I'm assuming not that bad. Actually, only down 1% for Marvell. Maybe they get a slight pass because we're expecting them to report tomorrow. So is NVIDIA a trade right now?
I said no. I'm
gonna throw out the no. Here's the thing. In earnings, if you don't beat the expected move, then what are you playing off of? Are you going to buy on that margin number in front of the 6.5% level, which it basically bounced off of and scalp traded on earnings? No, you're looking to swing for something bigger. Now, I don't see a swing. I don't see a swing for something bigger on this just yet. So Nvidia, not abject disaster. They did beat.
I have more here.
The data numbers were pretty much like the growth was expected on the data center.
Growth was solid, yeah.
It was solid, no questions asked. So the margin's the only thing I see that's bad. Anything else?
$60 billion buyback. And I'll get into some of these other numbers. Yeah, so apparently the data center revenue was a little bit below estimates, Neil. So the growth was good, but people were apparently looking for 41.25 bill. We got 41.1 bill. So apparently the data center revenue might be part of the issue. Their guidance, they're expecting 54 billion plus or minus 2% for Q3. That is above estimates of $52.5 billion, and that would imply roughly 15% sequential growth. Because you know with NVIDIA, we want sequential growth too. Now here's the other thing, Neil. I'm looking through the segment results, and that might be part of the issue here. So compute revenue in line with estimates. Networking revenue in line with estimates. Gaming revenue shockingly up 50% year over year, almost 49% year over year increase in gaming revenue, but networking and compute revenue apparently a little bit disappointing. Professional visualization revenue up 32% year over year. Their automotive revenue was a miss, Neil. So it was still up 69% year over year. This segment look on NVIDIA is a bit disappointing.
Okay, this is crazy. It's literally, the poll is 50-50 exactly. Is NVIDIA a trade right now 50-50? Here's what we're gonna do. First things first, hit the like, hit the subscribe, because I'm about to ask you something in the chat, and you can't answer me if you don't hit that sub right now, because I wanna see it live right here, right now. Forget about the yes or no. Are you buying NVIDIA in front of $170? Yes or no? I'm throwing 1 for yes, 2 for no. Forget about the poll. You're gonna literally see me type live, no, I am not. I personally am waiting for the 2 or 3 day rule myself. I didn't want that margin number. I think institutions might be getting a little bit out of this one. So put in a 1. I want to see you type in 1 for yes. You're buying in front of say 170. 2 for it's going to be a no. You can type yes or no if you really want, but there's a lot of 1s in there. Oh, there's a sparkling of 2s. I think it's pretty mixed. And we had it, is it a trade right now? It was 50-50. That's still about 50-50. And it's looking like there's as many people wanting to buy up here as sell. And I saw someone type in the 3-day rule as well. So that's what it's all about. This makes it really interesting going into tomorrow when it's this divided. Like, I think with that report, I was kind of figuring, well, I knew what I was looking for out of the report, and I didn't get what I wanted. So I'm not really thinking it's necessarily buy, but the market's trying to buy up here. Don't give us bad news. NVIDIA's bouncing here, up $5 from the low. So anyone that liked it as a trade, I hope you took a shot at it, because we just held and bounced up 5 bones.
I'm sorry, Neil, but I have to talk about the guidance-related issues here when it comes to the gross margin.
We don't want bad news, Adara.
So I have to do it to him, Neil. So gross margin, I actually looked this up to make sure I had an accurate comparison. So they're guiding gross margin for Q3, both GAAP and non-GAAP, at 73.5%, plus or minus 0.5%. Now, last year's gross margin, though, was 75%, Neil.
It's not.
So that is actually going to be a year-over-year decline. And then I also looked up what the gross margin was the year before that.
Oh, it's been.
And it was 75%. So we are getting like a multi-year gross margin decline if they actually deliver, because this is just guidance, right? They could obviously beat the guidance.
Exactly.
But they are guiding lower year-over-year gross margin, which is, I think, a bit disappointing, because their gross margin, it looks like for Q3, is held relatively steady the past couple of years at 75%.
Well, okay, that wasn't good news, but it could be worse. It could be worse. Like, they're not guiding in the low 70% range, which would have scared me a heck of a lot more. The guidance on the margin was at least better than the current number, right? Like, the current Q was 72%. So if they're still guiding for 73, that means they're telling you, well, NVIDIA is trying to tell us that the bottom for margin should be in, right? That's what that means. If you're sitting here saying you're still guiding 73, it's not 75, but it's better than the current quarter. So that's really not that bad. So maybe that's why there was like a slight bounce on that. Like, it makes me feel not as bad about it if they're thinking that you could be bottoming out that little slide, because margins are everything. They're making so much money. When everyone's talking about how much demand there is, it's like it's 10 to 1 demand versus supply, and they can't make enough of the chips. And can we sell to China? We'll hear about that on the call. I think that matters a heck of a lot. But some margins that you want to hold. You can't be talking about that much demand relative to supply and shrinking margins. Because if you still have that robust demand, your margins should be holding up. right? It's like there's a bit of a dichotomy going. It's like, oh, okay, well, why are margins sliding if you keep telling us how great the demand is? So that's where the strength needs to be for NVIDIA. That said, it is catching a bit of a bid here. I just want to circle back, if I can, quickly, because, hey, we should acknowledge that Snowflake has a buy. Well, seriously, did I just jinx it? Still, there was a buyer holding 225 on Snowflake. It was happening. Trust me, for like the last 10 minutes, we're talking about NVIDIA, and there was literally a buy just holding it at the even 225, which is a key level, obviously, for the stock. It just broke it and fell a buck. But Snowflake, with a good beat, exceeded the expected move, although it's pulling back right into that now. That's one positive name. Bill was not very good, but the story is going to be, has NVIDIA caught a bid off that margin guide? I know it's not 75%, but higher than the current quarter margin. To me, they're signaling a turn. They're signaling the bottom in the margin decline with that number.
They did say one thing that I think is good. People were just asking me about China, and the one thing I just saw, apparently they have not assumed any H20 shipments to China in their outlook. That could be why we're bouncing. Because what that means, guys, is this guidance does not factor in, and even then the guidance was pretty good, with the exception maybe of the gross margin. Their guidance does not include any H20 shipments to China. So if they're able to ship the H20 chips to China, the assumption is we're going to get much better sales. I do apologize for the gross margin drop. People were like, Adara, don't say it, stop. But, like, you know, we got to give you guys the earnings.
But you ended with good news. That's good news.
And it's actually great news. So there we go. I've redeemed myself. It's also worth noting, apparently, they in Q2, they gained $180 million from the release of previously reserved H20 inventory. So that is of note. Furthermore, they also, they did beat here on EPS, as I mentioned earlier, but apparently that's specifically adjusted to exclude H20-related charges. So that's also of interest. I think H20 is going to be both a headwind and a tailwind for NVIDIA at different times. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I do believe that.
You're 100% right.
But yeah, not a bad report.
And don't forget,
across the board,
they sprinkled a little buyback on that too for everybody else.
$60 billion.
What is an earnings report with just, hey man, just 60 bill? Is that it? That's all you're buying back? Oh, come on. You can do better than that, NVIDIA. You can do better. And that bounce, of course, bounced CoreWeave right back to where it started. Maybe falling down a little bit here, but CoreWeave was down 5 points, and that just came right back in there. So the sympathy play is going to be very real after support. There's a lot to dig into. Of course, the conference call is going to matter a lot because I'm sure you're going to get some comments. You're almost certainly going to get some comments with regards to China and where that is headed, about the prospectus for this 15% stake. Hey, man, better to pay 15% on some revenue than just not make anything selling to the largest market out there that's dying for your chip. So NVIDIA, I don't want to say disappointed, because as far as I'm concerned, for the margins to come in that low end range and it to be down 2%, I would say is a win. I was expecting it to be much worse if that number came in the low 70s, and it was in the low 70s. Yeah. So I'd say that's really not too bad.
I have a bit more too, sorry, quickly, Neil,
go ahead,
about their gross margin, because they just came out with a little bit more here. NVIDIA apparently continues to expect to exit the year with non-GAAP gross margins in the mid-70s range. So that's not a bad look. Apparently, they already expected this. We're going to have, looks like mid-70% non-GAAP gross margin. Though it is worth noting, their GAAP gross margin and their non-GAAP gross margin was basically like the same, their guidance this quarter, so I don't think there's a huge difference, but they're specifying non-GAAP, so I'll specify. I just got another comment from NVIDIA. Oh my gosh, NVIDIA, come on. I have to write a watch list tomorrow. I can't put all of this in here, NVIDIA, but they're giving us more color, Neil. Apparently, they said there were no H20 sales to China-based customers in H2. So it looks like they incurred some charges related to H20 because that was factored into their EPS, or rather, it was factored out of their adjusted EPS, I should say, but they didn't actually sell H20 chips to China-based customers in Q2. Though, again, they are maybe opening the possibility that they might in Q3, but it's not in their guidance yet.
Because look at the rate at which sales are, the rapid growth we're seeing, that's slowing down, right? So you got to keep the pipeline open. They need to have those sales in China to at least continue this march. That's why the margin matters so much, because if you're going to have a slowdown in how much you're selling in terms of growth, then you want those high margins to still be the thing that keeps the party going for sure. So again, I'd say a bit of a mixed bag here for NVIDIA, down about 2.5 points. Thanks, everybody. I mean, we always have a fun time in around here, but I want to thank you guys for turning out in almost like record, in record time, almost in record fashion, over 10,000 viewers here for the NVIDIA party. Yeah, enough respect. Shout out to Fabian on the one. I think it's Fabian over there. So I can't really tell because you're so far away. I can see Ramin, but I can't really see Fabian. You guys do a great job, make us look and sound good. But here's the thing, everybody. I know some people are like, oh my goodness, NVIDIA, the top, it's over. It doesn't matter. We've seen NVIDIA do this before. NVIDIA has now beaten 12 out of 13 quarters, right? 1/3 of the time, it actually goes down. But 100% of those times, it has then gone back to make an all-time high. The overall trend is still pretty much intact here. Yeah, it's getting a little pricey. It's getting a little frothy. There are some chinks in the armor. All that kind of stuff is happening. It's happening, man. But at the end of the day, I don't think it ended up that bad. We'll certainly see how Snowflake and CrowdStrike fare tomorrow. CrowdStrike making they're making an acquisition, and that's beating them up despite their beat on earnings.
Their guidance was also yuck.
Their guidance was a little bit yuck as well. So they're not going to Fortinet, but Fortinet was actually a good buy after a couple of days. If you looked at when they came out with their earnings. But we have one thing that we got to do here.
We do.
And that's the roll call. And if you're tuning in for the NVIDIA watch party for the first time, on the market recap show here at Trader TV Live, we do something called roll call, where everybody gets in the chat now by hitting the like, hit the subscribe button, and then you throw in an attaboy Sean. Throw in a thank you to Fabian, Ramin, Andre. A thank you to the Midday Bash brothers, Joe and Sharif. To Obi for filling in whenever we need a day off. To Adara for kicking that news out. Good news, bad news. As long as it's accurate, as long as it's timely, Adara's got you covered. This team is what it's all about for live trading action. So throw a big thank you to yourselves as well. Jump in here and say, get it, Adara, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. It's roll call time.
Yeah, also, guys, for people asking, NVIDIA earnings call, 5 p.m. is what I'm seeing. Jensen's already apparently making some comments, though. But anyways, let's thank everybody here in the chat. Neil in the chat, thank you to Day Trader Cut, HM Design. Gary, we've got DYM, Mike DeRider, Damian Oliveras. We've got Jacob as Knight. Oh, my God, they're going so fast. Bush Conception, Day Trader Cut, Just Brad, Grandpa Trades, or something like that. Right to play. Tahir, Damian Tarza. We've got Content Revolver, MP4, Danny Dollars, Ed, Natalie, HM Patel, Caesar. I'm just seeing, sides of names. Darth Trader. We've got The Tranquil, Diner, Bitcoin Trader, T.O., Miss Lucia, Chase Bands, Mr. Love Shack, Ryan O'Day. We'll end here with Just Do It, I think I saw in the chat. And thank you to Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe. We had Fabian, Ramin, Andre, Brendan. Thank you to our guest today, Stephen Gailey on the Midday Show. And
True.
Yeah. And thank you to all of you for being here every single day. And most of all, thank you to Jensen Huang for keeping this market a little bit exciting and also being one of the most drama-free Mag 7 CEOs. He and Satya and Sundar are in their own little club of no drama. I guess we'll put Tim Cook there too. And yeah, so shout out to Jensen. And shout out to all of you.
Jensen has bills foreign, Swiss francs. And before he dies, he'll have his money in a Swiss bank. He can see right through those haters like fish tanks. And they're staring at his watch like his wrist stanks. And that, for you, everybody, has been the Market Recap Show brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex. Hey, guess what? What do we do tomorrow morning, everybody? At 8:30, we come right back here to trade NVIDIA, CrowdStrike, Snowflake, and a whole lot of other things that move the markets, because this is the place to be if you want to watch market moves, if you want to be informed. It's Trader TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow morning. It's been a fun one. Make sure you rest up.
Boy, I think I accidentally did a salute. I just realized it.